Decades ago, the world as we knew it literally collapsed when the massive magic tower pierced the sky. Humanity awakened hidden abilities, desperately fighting off the grotesque beasts pouring out of its gates. Countless generations bled and died, passing the torch to new warriors. People held on to this desperate hope that light would eventually crush the darkness. And finally, a generational talent spawned out of nowhere. Packing god-tier talent, flawless battle IQ, and insane plot armor, he smashed his way to the absolute highest floor of the tower. He is humanity's absolute strongest weapon alive right now, the chosen one destined to wipe out this nightmare for good. They call him the Beacon of Hope, Lin Xiao. Now get this is his third time regressing. And in this timeline, whether it is raw stats or busted skills, he has completely min-maxed everything. He has hoarded every single overpowered weapon and legendary artifact known to man. Following the glowing prompts of his exclusive system interface, he is about to clear the final floor of the Magic Tower, putting a permanent end to decades of absolute terror. Honestly, thanks to the step-by-step cheat codes provided by his system, he has breezed through to the peak. But there is a catch. He has never actually laid eyes on the monsters ruling this ultimate summit. Even his overpowered system is pulling up zero data on them. His squad is currently staring intensely at their leader, wondering what profound thoughts he is having while staring blankly into space. Plot twist. He is not deep in thought. He is literally just checking his post-game to-do list for when he claps the Demon King. Sadly, every single time he zones out reading his system UI, his party completely misunderstands his vibe. After all, he is the only human alive who can actually see this holographic screen floating right in front of his face, so he just forcefully spouts some random excuses as they push forward. But the moment they step onto the final floor, their jaws drop. The entire place is shimmering with massive glowing crystals. This is the absolute peak of the Magic Tower, yet it feels chillingly empty. There is zero sign of a high-tier boss guarding the area. You would expect the ultimate enemy to match this angelic vibe, which is a massive plot twist compared to the dark, terrifying aesthetic of the lower levels. It is blindingly bright, incredibly luxurious, and drop-dead gorgeous. Lin Xiao steps up and drops a reality check, explaining that angels have terrifying true forms to scare off evil. Meanwhile, demons take on breathtakingly beautiful forms, specifically to seduce humans into dropping their guard. He warns them that the safer and more aesthetic a place looks on the surface, the deadlier the trap hiding underneath. The squad immediately nods, locking in. Even after spamming the regression button 3 times, this is Lin Xiao's very first time setting foot in the throne room. They are flying completely blind. His party starts hyping him up as they walk, gushing about how they only survived this hellish raid because of him. On the lower floors, their legendary carry Lin Xiao absolutely dismantled every single boss, as if he had farmed them 1,000,000 times, predicting their exact attack patterns and exploiting every weakness. The dawn of victory is literally seconds away, and the entire future of the human race rests on their shoulders. They turn to Lin Xiao, smiling, swearing that with him leading the charge, this is a guaranteed win. But right in the middle of that wholesome smile, a massive spray of warm blood instantly paints Lin Xiao's face red. His pupils dilate in pure shock. A chilling hello echoes through the room. Their sweet teammate has literally been cleaved in half. Brain short-circuiting, he frantically shifts into a battle stance, but a sinister, mocking laughter instantly erupts right behind his ear. He turns, utterly paralyzed. It is the demon. Lin Xiao did not even sense a single ounce of bloodlust. Running on pure adrenaline, he launches his most lethal strike, but the entity casually swats away his ultimate attack with a single finger. That is a very pretty sword, but it looks a little bit fragile. Lin Xiao watches in sheer horror as his blade shatters into pieces. This was supposed to be the absolute most overpowered weapon in existence, and this monster literally just snapped it with a fingernail. Before Lin Xiao can even process this glitch in reality, the demon whispers, "Where exactly are you looking?" The Demon King has already teleported perfectly behind him. Lin Xiao desperately tries to figure out what this thing is, but a devastating shockwave blasts right through his chest, launching him straight through a solid wall and inflicting critical damage. Coughing up blood, Lin Xiao demands to know if this guy is the final Demon King. The entity says nothing, flashing a sadistic grin. Lin's mind is racing. How on earth does a monster have a flawless human form? Finally, the villain speaks. He reveals he is the literal physical embodiment of humanity's absolute terror towards the unknown, birthed straight from the darkest corners of the human psyche, which naturally gave him this human appearance. Desperate, Lin Xiao activates his max-level scanning skill, the Eye of Truth, checking the boss's health bar. His jaw drops. The health bar has not moved a single pixel. He literally nuked this guy with everything he had and dealt absolutely zero damage. Zooming in, he spots a completely broken passive skill attached to the boss called Bloodlock. It grants permanent, unconditional invulnerability, and the cooldown timer is straight up non-existent. Panicking, he checks the demon's mana pool, only to see a glowing infinity symbol. His magical reserves are literally endless. Lin Xiao is spiraling. This boss is legitimately invincible. His system UI starts aggressively spamming flashing red warnings. Fatal danger detected. The stat gap is mathematically impossible to bridge. The calculated probability of survival is sitting at 0.000001%, and the AI is desperately trying to route an emergency escape plan. In 3 lifetimes, his overpowered system has never hit the panic button like this. There is literally zero win condition here. What is the play? Sweating bullets. He tries to force himself to calm down and formulate a quick strategy, but the Demon King slowly walks up, reaches out, and literally crushes the intangible holographic system screen with his bare hands. He caught onto something, and it's straight up mind-bending. Turns out, that invisible UI, the literal cheat code carrying him this whole time, isn't so invisible anymore. He starts throwing questions at the boss, getting absolutely zero answers. His brain is just spinning. I mean, this system handed him god-tier weapons and insanely broken gear, all thanks to that glowing screen. But now, poof, gone. Panic instantly floods his veins. He's completely losing it. How? How did this monster actually look at his private interface? Who the heck is this guy? How is the boss hacking his personal system while completely blinding him? Not that it stops the boss from absolutely steamrolling him. The guy is basically a walking cheat code himself. Lin just drops his shoulders. He knows it's game over. Zero stamina left to even throw a punch. Sure, getting flatlined isn't exactly new for him, but this specific death? It's sending absolute chills down his spine. His mind draws a massive blank on how to actually solo this Demon King. But even with the odds totally stacked against him, quitting just isn't in his DNA. Even if he gets wiped out here, he'll just respawn. He'll grind harder. There has to be some kind of glitch or strategy to break this nightmare loop, and humanity still has a fighting chance. But then, his flesh starts knitting itself back together. He's hyping himself up for the next run, but the words literally die in his throat. He's regenerating? He stares down in pure shock. This isn't just some basic potion effect. This is a top-tier, god-level spell. Infinite regeneration. His brain short-circuits. Why the heck is his health bar going back to full? A weird, comforting warmth wraps around him. This has to be the most broken recovery magic in existence. A relentless, glowing wave of life energy just keeps flooding into his veins without a single pause. The Demon King is literally playing support right now, and Lin is completely tripped out. Why heal your enemy? Then the boss drops the bomb, asking if he's a regressor. Lin's jaw basically hits the floor, and that panicked expression totally sells him out. The boss connects the dots. Lin knew way too much about the mob patterns on the lower floors of the magic tower. He memorized every single passive skill, every blind spot. It looked like he had future sight, but if he was actually clairvoyant, walking into this trap wouldn't make sense. The second the boss locked eyes with him, it clicked. Lin had rewinded time. Not once, not twice, but probably dozens of runs. So, if he just one-shots the hero right now, he'll just respawn back at the checkpoint and try again, right? Just an endless, sweaty grind until the hero finally gets the win. Catching Lin's terrified glare, the boss knows he hit the absolute bullseye. The villain is not about to let himself become a non-playable character in someone else's speedrun. He absolutely refuses to let the hero die. A sharp snap of his fingers echoes, triggering a brutal transformation. Lin's armor is hyped as the most durable gear on the server, completely indestructible, unless you're the final boss. Exactly what you'd expect from a try-hard regressor hoarding the best loot. Lin is hyperventilating, completely clueless about what kind of twisted glitch is hitting him right now. But that insane healing magic, it locks his health at 100%, so he literally cannot die. His legendary armor morphs into a suffocating Iron Maiden, trapping him inside his own body. No escape button, no logout. Just pure, agonizing immortality. He violently screams out for anyone to save him, as his physical form literally melts and twists into something straight out of a horror movie. Look, usually, the main character has that thick plot armor, right? They clutch the win and outshine everybody. But this guy, he just got forcefully redesigned into the Demon King's personal gaming chair, sucking in the rest of his fallen squad to build out the cushions. Crazy part is, every single one of those guys thought they were the main character of this raid. So, how do you actually spot the real protagonist in this chaotic universe? The guys who read the future can't even give you a straight answer, but you gotta leave that to the history books. Because at the end of the day, whoever is left standing gets to be the main character, period. And yeah, the Demon King just proved why his power scaling is totally unmatched. Flash forward, we cut to a massive billboard screen in the city. The breaking news anchor drops the bomb. The legendary hero Lin Xiao and his entire squad just wiped on the final floor of the tower, literally inches from clearing the game. Raid after raid, humanity has been clinging to this hope that the good guys will eventually clutch the win. Meanwhile, the Awakened Association puts out a press statement, paying their respects, but begging the public not to tilt. They're hyping up the remaining top-tier hunters to keep diving into the tower, desperately trying to block the monster spawn from spilling into the real world. But honestly, nobody knows how many more players have to get deleted before the credits roll. Scene shifts. We pan over to two new hunters. One turns to Kim Fei, pointing out what looks exactly like the hidden S-rank dungeon, the infamous underground city. The magic tower basically acts as a massive portal right into the urban zone, where mobs just randomly spawn. On literal street corners, an absolute tidal wave of beasts keeps flooding straight from the tower into this subterranean death trap. If those creatures manage to breach the dungeon gates, the city is getting completely overrun. To prevent an automatic game over, the Awakened roster sends out an ultra-exclusive strike team. These heavy hitters push the offensive, hitting the tower from the outside perimeters. But the bulk of the guild? Their whole job is doing recon, locating the spawn rifts hidden deep within the city limits, and shutting them down before civilians catch aggro. So they step straight into this S-rank nightmare. The guy glances over at Kim Fei, totally sweating it. Are these high-tier mobs actually going to drop the blood cones? He follows up, asking if some basic, normal-tier loot could actually put a dent in the literal Demon King. Honestly, valid question. The blood cone is just a standard common item, but its passive mechanic is wild, guaranteed to deal exactly 1 point of true damage per hit. He drops the classic line that good always beats evil, but Tian, her battlefield awareness is completely lacking. She ends up stammering out an apology to Kim Fei. You see, Kim Fei has always been that hyper-arrogant, chosen one prodigy type. And get this, the guy is still incredibly young. If he keeps leveling up like this, give him a few years and he will totally overshadow Lin Xiao. She has always been his biggest fangirl, ready to back him up, but out of nowhere, they cross paths with a shape-shifting demon who literally looks like some random teenager. He casually asks if they are holding the blood core, but plot twist, this kid is the actual Demon King. The boss figures some big-brain human is going to try exploiting rule-based artifacts to cheese a fight against him. So, he just stepped right up and demanded the local monsters cough up their blood cores first. Bai Jinfeng acts all high and mighty, praising him before demanding he hand over the loot. But the Demon King just straight up laughs in his face. This arrogant dude does not even realize who he is messing with, and thinks he can just mug him. But Bai Jinfeng hits him with that classic excuse. For the future of humanity, how could you possibly call this stealing? He drops his own name, Bai Jinfeng, fully expecting the kid to be starstruck. He claims a top-tier item like that belongs in the hands of a pro, rather than some random scrub. All to crush the Demon King. All in the name of absolute justice. But right in the middle of his epic speech, he senses this insanely oppressive aura and instantly pops his absolute defense, summoning a massive crystal barrier. He is absolutely terrified. What on earth is this? The mana pressure is suffocating. There is zero chance this kid is human. Suddenly, he realizes the monster has Tian grabbed by the throat. This is Bai Jinfeng we are talking about, the mysterious prodigy hyped up as the only one who could surpass Lin Xiao. The Demon King makes him a deal, ordering him to shatter his own barrier. If he breaks the shield, he will spare them both and let the hero and his ultimate simp walk away alive. The king swears he always honors his word and warns that if the guy refuses to comply, he will obliterate him right then and there. In response, Bai Jinfeng coldly tells Tian that her sacrifice is for the greater good of the world. He promises to build a giant memorial statue after she kicks the bucket. He launches an all-out attack, making the Demon King burst into hysterical laughter. The so-called hero threw his ultimate attack without a single millisecond of hesitation. He charged in, literally giving zero flips whether his #1 fan lived or died. Looks like the demon boss still underestimated how toxic human nature can be. Bai Jinfeng smirks like a maniac, declaring that true overpowered heroes are destined to walk alone, and using the people around them as meat shields is just part of the job. He points his finger, shifting all the blame onto the Demon King for forcing his hand. But obviously, his victim is not vibing with that logic. Tian is completely devastated. Her idol is being brutally heartless, especially since she is the only person who stayed loyal to him for years, and he still tossed her away like garbage. She screams at him to just back off, and tells him to use his crystal barrier to run for his life. But Bai Jinfeng is way too arrogant. This golden boy of heaven, the hyped-up rising star of humanity, refuses to retreat. He aggressively claims that justice will absolutely curb-stomp evil. They just need to hold the line, and keep their winning mindset for the sake of humanity, the future, and the entire globe. But before he can even finish his cheesy monologue, the Demon King cracks up again. Since the guy refused to take the emergency exit, the boss stops playing nice. A massive vortex spawns out of nowhere, sucking the fake hero straight into the abyss. The dude is spiraling. He got totally folded. One shot, and now he is actually about to die. The Demon King waves goodbye, savagely suggesting he chug some molten lava for his final meal. He roasts him, saying a super righteous hero should have been fully prepped to become a martyr ages ago. You are the hero, right? Enjoy the drop. Bai Jinfeng plummets into the darkness, screaming in pure panic that he cannot get wiped out here, crying about how this was not supposed to be his main character destiny. The villain casually walks away, leaving Tian Tian standing there completely untouched. Bai Jinfeng is literally toast. She braces herself, thinking she is definitely next on the chopping block, but the ultimate boss just opens a dimensional rift to dip out. Staring at his back, she stammers, asking why he is not finishing her off, but he simply reminds her that he literally stated he would let them go if the shield broke, and the Demon King never backs out of a deal. Obviously, the Golden Boy could not make it out alive, but he drops a chilling warning that if they ever cross paths again, it is game over for her. She is left standing there, completely stunned by his weirdly honorable flex. As the king steps through the portal, his whole character model glitches into a brand new look, popping up right in the middle of the human world. Cut to the grand headquarters of the Human Awakened Association, where our shape-shifting boss strolls up to the front desk, looking to join the guild. The receptionists are shook, especially since the monster waves are getting way too aggressive lately, and rumors are spreading like wildfire about a massive city invasion. Because of the panic, they are rolling out the red carpet for any new awakened hunters, especially someone rocking crazy good looks like him. The girl swoons and asks for his stats, needing his rank and core abilities to process the application. But ironically, this guy is literally the final boss. Without skipping a beat, he claims his name is Bai Jinfeng, hyping himself up as a hidden prodigy, and acting shocked that she has not heard of his legend yet. He flashes a fake smile, saying it is an absolute honor to join the guild. The scene shifts, deep into the Association Fortress, straight into the ultra-exclusive hall of the Seven Elders. Except, right now, only 6 of those top tiers are actually sitting at the table. They are hardcore sweating because nobody ever imagined that Elder Lin Xiao, a literal time-traveling regressor, would completely fail his raid on the Magic Tower. The leader breaks it down for the group. As long as that monster boss is chilling inside the tower, he is basically spamming god-tier buffs, exploiting the unconditional health lock mechanics, and draining infinite mana straight from the dungeon core. The human race cannot afford to keep feeding their highest-ranking players to this meat grinder, so they desperately need a backup strategy. He puts out a massive emergency alert to the entire world, making it strictly illegal to raid the tower anymore. Now, every single guild is frantically grinding for mythical artifacts to just seal the dungeon permanently, and may they rot down there for eternity. The monstrous hordes will never again breach our borders from the underground abyss. Humanity can finally sleep with both eyes closed, securing eternal peace. She literally pulled a chosen one from another dimension, some guy from a rock called Earth. Obviously, it's totally classified. Even the dude himself has zero clue he got summoned to be their savior. But hey, playing hero is the classic isekai protagonist gig, right? Now his soul has hijacked the body of Lin Xiao's younger brother, Lin Feng. Word on the street is he's been acting totally unhinged since the transmigration, dropping the weirdest takes. Right now, he's spearheading an elite strike force into the dungeon, hunting for someone capable of locking down the tower. An elder chimes in, flexing that during last month's full moon, he totally read Lin Feng's fortune. The cards reveal that destiny is literally knocking at his door. He's about to snag the crucial artifact needed to breach the magic tower. Once he does, that place gets permanently sealed. The girl practically glows hearing this. Since the head prophet confirmed it, Lin Feng is guaranteed to secure the bag. The tower gets locked down. Boom. Massive W. Humanity scores the ultimate safe zone. But the old-timer drops a harsh reality check. What if? What if the final boss isn't even chilling inside his lair when the seal drops? If the Demon King already slipped into human territory, locking the front door is completely useless. She freezes. The math checks out, so what's the game plan? But the old geezer just gives her a playful swat, brushing off the tension to lighten the mood. She laughs at the old man's morbid joke. Seriously, how could the ultimate villain ditch his own stronghold? Plus, even if the Demon King steps out of his domain, he loses all his turf buffs. His stats would plummet to match top-tier human fighters. The absolute second anyone clocks his true identity, the entire human race would jump him. It's a lose-lose for the boss. Either he rots in solitary confinement until the end of time, or he steps outside and gets absolutely packed up by a mob of elite hunters. As long as Lin Feng retrieves those sealing items, humanity easily secures the dub. And the Elder's divination totally cements Lin Feng as the literal child of destiny from an alternate timeline. He is the one scripted to gather the loot and cancel this apocalypse. The girl dips out, assuming the old man is just rambling in his twilight years. She's got errands to run, but the Elder knows exactly what time it is. He is literally counting the seconds for a certain someone to show up. The bedroom door swings open. Standing right there is Bai Jingfeng, a hyped-up rookie who just joined the Awakened Association. The old man flinches, instantly throwing the deadbolt. Talk about a jump scare. So this is Bai Jingfeng, the heavily guarded prodigy. Or should we drop the act? Let's just call him the Demon King. Yeah, we'll stick with Jingfeng for now. He plays it humble, claiming he's no genius yet, but he'd be absolutely stoked to help wipe the Demon King off the map. Jingfeng just chuckles. You guys are way too stiff. He tells the Elder to grab a seat and drop the formal nonsense. Rumor has it, this guy is the only one among the 7 elders who can actually peer into the future. The geezer is exhausted, but Jingfeng came straight to the headquarters for one specific reason. A personal psychic reading. The ultimate fate of the Demon King. The old man sighs. Does this kid seriously think taking down the ultimate evil is a walk in the park? Listen, if he could track the Demon King's future, he would be humanity's shining star, not Lin Xiao. He explains the harsh cooldowns of his power. He must physically touch the target under a full moon. But Jingfeng leans in. Mr. Prophet, tonight is a full moon. The Elder looks clueless. Is this kid dense, trolling, or just completely oblivious to how this works? He reiterates the golden rule. Physical contact is required, meaning the Demon King himself would have to knock on his front door, which obviously isn't happening. Dead silence fills the room, and then it hits him. The horrifying realization clicks. This dude is the Demon King. Panic sets in as he accidentally makes contact, triggering his ultimate prophecy skill. The vision hits him like a truck. The Demon King gets slaughtered by a human next season, just as the first snow drops. The villain effortlessly reads the old man's racing thoughts. Boom. He snatches the prophet by the throat, hoisting him up. He smirks, asking if these little predictions are actually legit. The Elder gasps, backtracking hard. He promises to say whatever the boss wants to hear, begging that he's still a useful pawn. But the Demon King isn't playing games. He challenges the Elder to use that same precognition to see if he survives the night or gets his neck snapped right here. Hitting pause on that cliffhanger, let's rewind to a totally different vibe. A classic web novel setup. Picture this. A modern-day nobody gets warped to a fantasy realm. He starts off as absolute trash, grinds through monster hordes, and levels up like crazy. It's your typical zero-to-hero trope, face-slapping arrogant haters, all leading up to that epic snowy showdown with the final boss. Our main guy was just a bottom-tier corporate slave back on Earth, grinding through life. One day, he's minding his business, binge-reading this exact novel. Suddenly, the undisputed champion of all anime strikes Truck-kun, an absolute hit-and-run on his daily commute. Following the sacred tradition of dimension hoppers, his soul got yeeted across space and time. He literally woke up inside the book he was reading, forced into the role of the Lin family's second son, Lin Xiao, aka humanity's supposed beacon of hope. Except right now, he's known as Lin Feng's deadbeat brother, an arrogant, toxic loser, permanently stuck in his sibling's shadow. That is the messy save file our boy just loaded into. But the whole game is about to flip because our boy just touched down, instantly pulling his old man aside for a serious chat. He literally holds the cheat codes, knowing the exact drop location of the map leading to the ceiling relic, and he demands a god-tier squad to back him up. Since he's practically memorized the original novel's plot, he is rocking that omniscient reader's perspective, armed with the exact coordinates to the ultimate weapon capable of locking down the magic tower. Fast forward, the map to the tower ceiling artifact is officially secured. We cut straight to the main hub and bustling lobby of the Awakened Association. Enter the Lin Feng squad, with his brother, Lin Xiao, completely out of the picture, and the actual main character of this universe nowhere to be found. It is prime time for a new savior to step up. He is plotting to hijack the hero title for himself, smooth-talking Leah, and begging her to tag along because he is utterly convinced he is destined for a massive dub. We are talking absolute victory, unlocking the artifact and winning over the ultimate Ice Queen, Leah. I mean, look at her back in his past life. A stunner like her would be so out of his league, he would not even dare to look. Now, she is literally his fiancée. And then, there is the random girl they picked up on the road, giving off total scared bunny vibes, practically begging for him to swoop in and play knight in shining armor. He tries to comfort Tian Tian, whispering that she is safe now. We made it to HQ, he reassures her. Nobody can touch you here. She plays the sweet, affectionate card. But let's be real. Isekai protagonists never get a smooth ride. Out of nowhere, he hits them with the classic excuse. claiming he has urgent solo business to handle and needs to bounce. He dumps the grunt work on his crew. They are super suspicious about his side quest, but he just drops that he is off to chat with the Grand Prophet and dips. Makes you wonder, once he actually achieves God status and locks away the magic tower, is he really going to stay tied down by all this romance drama? Meanwhile, the girls pull up to the front desk, strictly business. The receptionist asks what they need. Turns out, Leah is here to vouch for a new recruit to join the guild. The staff raises an eyebrow, asking who is getting the golden ticket. Leah gestures right at the timid girl she is tossing Tian Tian's name into the ring. She explains how she and Lin Feng dragged her out of a brutal dungeon run. Get this, Tian Tian is the sole survivor who stared down the demon lord and lived to tell the tale. She begs the guild to take her in. The staff agrees, asking if she happens to know Senior Bai Jinfei, the legendary lone wolf prodigy. Turns out, Tian Tian was his one and only disciple. She and Bai Jinfei were the ones who triggered the demon lord encounter in that cursed raid. The demon absolutely obliterated Bai Jinfei, leaving her as the lone escapee. That is when she stumbled into Lin Feng and Leah, latching onto their squad for survival. The receptionist looks completely baffled. Wait, Bai Jinfei? He literally just walked through these doors to join us. He is totally fine. Tian Tian's brain practically short-circuits. He mentioned something about hitting up the Grand Prophet, the staff adds. The girls are utterly shell-shocked. There is zero way that guy survived. Cut to the brutal truth. The demon lord is currently choking the life out of that pathetic old man, taunting the so-called prophet to see if he foresaw his own execution tonight. The old guy is sobbing, begging the Dark King for mercy. He is literally offering to sell out his own kind just to keep breathing. I will do anything. I am still useful. Please do not end me. The demon lord just rolls his eyes. It is the exact same pathetic script every single human spouts before dying. Honestly, he is bored out of his mind. He genuinely used to think all humans were built like Lin Xiao, fearless, righteous, and packed with raw power. Looks like he massively overestimated humanity and clearly has not studied his enemies deeply enough. Seeing absolute cowards like this guy crawling in the dirt? Yeah, any anxiety the villain had about fighting humans completely evaporates. Thanks for the show, he smirks, before instantly snapping the guy out of existence. Job done. He casually strolls out of the shadows. He knows the stakes. If he retreats and lets Lin Feng snag that relic, he is doomed to rot inside those magic tower walls for eternity. But stepping up to stop the protagonist? That is a massive gamble. Not only could he fail, but he might get outright slaughtered by the prophesied hero. Talk about a brutal catch-22. Risking it all outside his turf is just way too insanely dangerous right now. Since he already snatched the prophecy's intel, playing it safe and heading back to base is the smartest move. Maybe down the line, he will figure out a loophole to shatter his cursed fate. He turns toward the exit, ready to ghost. But suddenly, Lin Feng blocks his path, sizing him up. Who are you? Never seen you around HQ. The demon lord plays it cool, claiming he is just a fresh recruit, acting completely innocent as he asks if he can help with anything. Right then, Lin Feng's eyes lock onto a badge pinned to the stranger's chest, an emblem strictly reserved for S-rank awakened. He is absolutely floored by the hidden power level. Smelling an opportunity, Lin Feng instantly tries to recruit him. We are literally about to secure the relic that will shut down the magic tower. You in? The ceiling relic? The undercover boss can barely hide his shock. Then, the cocky hero formally introduces himself. The name is Lin Feng. You might not recognize the name yet, but trust me, I am about to blow up worldwide. Convinced he just found a top-tier asset, he aggressively pitches his squad again. Hearing the name of his ultimate nemesis, the villain smirks and accepts the invite on the spot. Keep your enemies closer, right? He wants a front-row seat to see if that old prophet's vision actually plays out. Lin Feng struts off, completely oblivious and hyped on his own ego, dreaming of global fame. You are insanely lucky you bumped into a captain like me on day one, Lin Feng boasts. Stick with me, put in the work, and I promise you will eat good. Oh, and as the cherry on top, he casually brags about saving an absolute baddie during the mission, the literal partner of the legendary Bai Jinfei. Rumor has it, he's the literal only dude who stared down the Demon King and actually lived to tell the tale. That gets the gears turning in his head, and he's instantly ready to dip. He gives her the nod. Yeah, her name is Li Tian Tian, and she just scored a spot on his squad. They'll cross paths again soon enough. As the Demon King tries to slide out, someone demands to know his next move. Bro drops the most out-of-pocket excuse ever, claiming he just remembered his hometown pig is about to pop, and he urgently needs to head back for some hardcore postpartum piggy care. The other guy is just standing there, completely lost. Right then, a voice calls out for Captain Lin Feng. They've arrived, and it's Tian Tian, waving them down. He pivots, casually flexing to the demon that he is honestly exhausted from being surrounded by so many top-tier baddies all the time. Suddenly, all eyes lock onto our MC. The Demon King is literally seconds away from deleting him from existence. But instead, someone just drops a sweet, "Hey baby." She completely tackles him in a massive hug. "Bai Jingfeng, I heard you made it out in one piece and actually slipped right through the Demon King's fingers. That's insane." Meanwhile, the other guy is low-key losing his mind. He can't wrap his head around this being Bai Jingfeng, especially since, in the original timeline, that dude was boxed up a long time ago. Catching sight of him, Tian Tian is totally shook. Ever since they split up last time, she's been stressing over him non-stop, wondering when she'd finally get to see him again. The crazy part? She knows exactly who he really is, the Demon King, not Bai Jingfeng. But honestly, if he's putting on a show, he deserves an Oscar for this performance. Deep down, Tian Tian is desperate to know why he saved her from that monster back then. It's the whole reason she's been so insanely grateful. She isn't clueless, she knows the difference between a real one and a villain, and she is absolutely going to pay back that massive favor. From this moment on, she's locking in as his loyal follower, because she seriously respects his sheer power and hidden soft side. Our MC is caught totally off guard, since this is literally the first time someone is trying to actually simp for the Demon King and return his favors. Never in my life have I seen a mortal willingly jump ship to Team Demon, he thinks. But hey, since she knows how to act right, he's definitely going to take good care of her. Even the girl tagging along is utterly starstruck. She realizes she's standing in front of the legendary rumored genius, Bai Jingfeng. Her name is Li Ya, and she is totally hyped to finally meet him. Wasting zero time, she asks if the two of them actually came face to face with the Demon King, and what the boss monster even looks like. Tian Tian jumps in, describing him as this savage beast with a sickly green face and massive fangs. Definitely a walking red flag, she jokes. They both crack up, leaving the self-proclaimed new main character of this world fuming on the sidelines. His brain is glitching because he distinctly remembers that in the core lore, Bai Jingfeng got completely obliterated by the Demon King ages ago. Yet here she is, the sole survivor who actually saw the big bad. Is it even possible that his own actions triggered some massive butterfly effect? He absolutely needs to interrogate the Grand Prophet about this wild plot twist. But just as he whips around, a girl comes sprinting in, screaming her lungs out that the Elder Seer has just been flatlined. The dude was literally breathing 30 minutes ago, and everyone is in pure shock. They instantly call for a full lockdown of the association to hunt down anyone who spotted him last. The panic is contagious, and the entire room goes dead silent. Tian Tian, Li Ya, and Lin Feng are frozen, but our MC doesn't miss a beat, coolly pointing out that only Captain Lin Feng and himself had eyes on the old man. Lin Feng snaps, screaming that it's utter cap. He swears he never even got close to the guy, and that he actually caught our MC lurking at the door, right when he pulled up. Lin Feng is fully spiraling now, pointing fingers and shouting that our boy was the one who actually clipped the high priest. He violently demands to know what his damage is, but the MC just casually snatches his wrist midair. "You're really rushing to run your mouth, huh?" he mocks, right before effortlessly tossing Lin Feng to the dirt like a rag doll. Lin Feng is frantic, yelling for everyone to fall back. He's screaming that they've all been played, that there is zero chance this guy is the real Bai Jingfeng. "You might be fooling them, but you ain't fooling me," he roars, launching himself forward for a desperate strike. But with one lightning-fast dodge, the MC completely ghosts him. He scoffs, wondering how a certified scrub who can't even hold his own in a street fight thinks he has the right to bark at him like that. Bam! One clean hit connects, instantly putting Lin Feng to sleep on the pavement. Stepping disrespectfully right on his chest, the MC tells the room to chill with the aggression. He just wants this fake hero to stay glued to the floor and eat dirt. Honestly, he can't wrap his head around how this wannabe is so dead set on him not being Bai Jingfeng. He remembers hearing a rumor back in the day that the biological brother of the Chosen One, the literal light of humanity, was Lin Feng, a talentless zero, who is somehow 100 times more pathetic in person than the rumors let on. And yet, the MC still finds him way more entertaining than his golden boy brother. Hearing this, Lin Feng snaps awake, absolutely furious. Call him trash? Bro finally got his super rare time travel regression, unlocked an overpowered system, and leveled up into a total boss. Stepping in, Li Ya tries to play peacekeeper, swearing Lin Feng isn't acting out on purpose. She defends him, saying he used to be this super reliable, stand-up guy, but lately, he's been acting ridiculously reckless, begging the MC not to break his bones. But a triggered Lin Feng barks back, screaming that he is definitely not some useless fodder anymore, and struggles to his feet, swinging a lethal S-rank 8-clawed relic right at his head. But the MC literally sidesteps it like it's moving in slow motion. It's actually wild this kid somehow got his hands on an S-rank claw. Not that it matters, considering an average S-rank heavy hitter wouldn't even last 5 seconds. In a one-on-one duel against our guy, The MC can't even remember this nobody's name, or if he even made the bottom tier of the human prodigy leaderboards. Out of nowhere, a commanding voice booms through the area, ordering everyone to stand down. Instantly, all the mana in the air is violently sucked away, creating a crazy heavy pressure. Bai Jingfeng's eyes narrow. He instantly clocks this as a top-tier, rule-bending domain expansion. Enter the president of the Awakened Association. Thanks to his absolute broken domain ability, anyone stepping inside his zone gets their supernatural powers instantly muted. He stares them down, declaring that every single member of this association is a crucial asset in the brutal war against the monsters. How in the world did an internal feud even start? Bai Jingfeng knows he holds the president title, and honestly, stepping outside that magic tower means completely losing his permanent invincibility buff. Toss in his limitless mana and total disregard for the rules, and the guy is a walking hazard, who desperately needs to watch his mouth and play it cool from now on. Without missing a beat, he steps up and takes the heat, apologizing for the absolute chaos he caused, and swearing to keep his hands clean next time. But then, Lin Feng snaps back, totally heated. He points out how the boss let the other dude wail on him, but the second he tried to swing back, he got blocked. What kind of messed up logic is that? The bias is screamingly obvious. He assumes everyone still treats him like the ultimate scrub, looking down on him. Yet Bai Jingfeng secretly notes that this guy might actually be a prodigy, pulling S-rank weapons, rare maps, and legendary artifacts out of thin air. So why on earth does he act like a complete meathead with zero social awareness in front of the big boss? The president shuts Lin Feng down instantly, telling him to drop the ridiculous accusations. He never plays favorites. Every single move he makes is strictly to secure humanity's survival. But Lin Feng smells cap and absolutely loses it. He knows they all think he is trash, and it drives him insane. Just you wait, he thinks. The second he secures that sealing artifact, the magic tower is going to light up the sky. Then they will finally realize he is the literal chosen one destined to save the world. The president lets out a heavy breath, shifting his gaze to Bai Jingfeng with total respect. He praises him for not just packing insane power, but keeping it incredibly humble, polite, calm, and grounded. Bai Jingfeng cracks a mental smile, completely baffled by this absurd praise. How the heck does another human actually vibe with him? The president then switches gears, dropping intel on the Grand Prophet's murder. First off, they found fresh magic residue at the crime scene. All signs point to a rogue dungeon monster wiping the Prophet off the map. Humanity is totally cleared of suspicion. Still, locking down the exact truth is going to demand some serious, hardcore digging. With the artifact hunt literally right around the corner, he orders Lin Feng and Bai Jingfeng to squad up. The two of them absolutely have to stick together. The entire future of the human race rests squarely on their shoulders. Bai Jingfeng nods along, acting totally blown away by the massive responsibility dropped on him. But in his head, he is already plotting to steer humanity's destiny straight off a cliff. Grind hard, kids, they are told. The world belongs to the youth. Meanwhile, Leah mentions she is going to check on Lin Feng, since he has been incredibly salty lately. Before she can walk off, Bai Jingfeng blocks her path, smoothly bringing up that comment she made earlier. He wants the absolute tea on Lin Feng's bizarre personality flip. The dude acts completely unhinged depending on who is watching, and he needs to know why. Her cheeks instantly burn red as she stammers out an apology, admitting she is just stressing over him. He flew off the handle and dragged them into a nasty brawl, and she was powerless to stop the crash out. Honestly, she is completely stunned. She never expected someone as intimidating as Bai Jingfeng to be this genuine, actually showing concern for a guy like Lin Feng. She drops the lore. Lin Feng used to be a straight-up, absolute zero, but recently, right after his awakening, his entire vibe completely mutated. Flashback to the exact moment Lin Feng woke up, staring at reality like it was a web novel. He realized he had been isekai'd straight into the body of a worthless, cannon fodder side character, and immediately started rambling crazy nonsense about time travel, system menus, and plot armors. She assumed he was just sleep-talking, but the shift was permanent. His personality did not just do a 180, he turned fearlessly reckless. Out of nowhere, he started pinpointing the exact coordinates of top-tier loot, hoarding hidden maps, and tracking down legendary relics like he had a built-in radar. He even snatched a mythical S-rank weapon. Staring at his prize, he gloated that the novel's script was spot on, crowning himself the ultimate main character of this universe. Leah spills that even though his base stats are absolute garbage, hard-carrying himself with those overpowered S-rank items barely scrapes him into the S-rank hunter tier. The family elders just chalked it up to a massive spiritual breakthrough, assuming he unlocked some crazy hidden talent, since he always dodged their questions. Hearing this sets off massive alarm bells for the Demon King, aka Bai Jingfeng. He instantly knows math is not mathing. He is dead certain this new guy is a complete fraud, but exposing him to everyone would be a terrible play. Given Lin Feng's explosive new temper, confronting him head-on is off the table, even though the truth is painfully obvious. The fact that he stonewalls his own close family proves the original Lin Feng has been replaced. Confessing the truth would basically be a death wish in this new reality. This insane, overnight ego trip pretty much confirms someone else hijacked Lin Feng's body. Suddenly, a deafening roar shatters the conversation. An A-rank monstrosity just busted out of the dungeon and is tearing the city apart. Panic erupts everywhere, and everyone is completely frozen. Wait, is that Lin Feng charging in? The dude is actually squaring up against an A-rank demon, a vicious corpse hound. Gripping his S-rank frost diamond blade, he dives straight into the carnage. The absolute audacity of this punk. This A-rank monster has a literal death wish stepping up to him. Lin Feng does not hesitate, he slices right through the beast, playing the ultimate savior. With his A-rank meteor sword, every single eyeball in the crowd is glued to him as he unleashes a flawless combo on this demonic stray, and the bystanders are absolutely losing their minds, hyping him up like crazy. He is eating up the attention, while the fans genuinely believe that Lin Feng is some kind of god-tier warrior. But our Demon King MC knows the dark truth. These corpse dogs are actually street animals that faced brutal torture and death at the hands of city humans. All that lingering trauma fused with the Magic Tower's dark energy, mutating them into A-rank nightmares. Since they are super rare, your average human has zero clue how their mechanics actually work. But this specific breed has a hidden passive skill. Lin Feng keeps spamming his attacks, totally dominating the battlefield. What he does not realize is that pushing this dog to the brink triggers a suspended animation state. It is basically charging up to evolve straight into an S-rank boss. Unaware, Lin Feng is soaking in the hype, with the crowd screaming his name. He is thrilled, thinking he casually soloed a mid-tier mob. He is fully convinced that once he turns around and seals the Magic Tower, he will become a global superstar. But a gut-wrenching growl shatters his fantasy, and as he whips around, he realizes the stray did not just survive, it mutated into a double S-rank hellhound. Lin Feng is absolutely clueless about what went wrong. Before he can even blink, a massive blast of hellfire launches him across the zone, leaving him completely wrecked, and the crowd goes dead silent. One hit? How did a dog just one-shot their hero? They realize this must be a legendary double S-tier threat. Immediately, Li Jia rushes over, panicking and asking if he is alive while screaming for an evacuation. The hellhound locks onto them, and Li Jia desperately begs for backup. That is when our Demon King decides to step up. He knows he cannot let Lin Feng bite the dust just yet. He still needs this arrogant fool as a pawn to track down the artifact and wipe it off the map forever. Forced to intervene, he casually strolls up to the flaming beast. Unleashing a fraction of his terrifying aura, he places a single hand on the monster, whispering that it forgot who its master is. Instantly, the hellhound freezes, shaking like a leaf in pure terror. Using the demon tongue, he orders the beast to scram, and without hesitation, the terrifying monster tucks its tail and sprints for the hills. Nobody can process what just happened. Bai Jinfeng just stares at the retreating beast, faking total shock. The crowd cannot compute why this apocalyptic monster acted so shy. It is absolutely wild they cannot fathom why the hellhound got massive out of nowhere, completely mopped the floor with Lin Feng, and then ran away crying from Bai Jinfeng. Does this mean Bai Jinfeng is actually the overpowered one here? Their minds are blown. Li Jia immediately showers our boy with gratitude. As for the dog's weird behavior, the Demon King just shrugs it off. He tells them that maybe the beast was all bark and no bite, and that is why it ran. Honestly, he could care less about saving Lin Feng or getting any thank you notes like Li Tiantian gives him. He just wanted to ensure the dog wouldn't attack them later. But suddenly, Lin Feng totally snaps and grabs our MC by the collar like a psycho. He violently demands to know the monster's secret, accusing Bai Jinfeng of having some hidden trick to counter it. He screams that the MC knew about the mutation all along and purposely kept his mouth shut just to humiliate him on live television. This guy is so obsessed with his own clout that he cannot handle looking bad. He keeps repeating that everything is Bai Jinfeng's fault. Talk about a massive red flag. He only cares about his personal brand and fake prestige, completely ignoring his teammates bleeding out on the ground. That is exactly why the MC just watched him get trashed earlier. Radiating a dark intent, the Demon King thinks that not all humans deserve saving, and this clown is at the top of his hit list. As Lin Feng keeps yapping, our guy casually grabs his arm and twists it into a brutal lock. You want the secret? It was just a basic A-rank mob. You fumbled the bag trying to play hero, and now you are making up excuses to cover your massive embarrassment. He refuses to play along with this toxic tantrum. The bystanders are watching the whole meltdown, totally disgusted. Bai Jinfeng literally just saved his life, And this is the thanks he gets? Lin Feng has been throwing baseless accusations for a while now, without a single shred of evidence. He is just faking this tough guy act to save his shattered ego. Everyone agrees this dude is absolute trash. With the great prophet dead, the only powerhouses left in the room are Lin Feng and Bai Jinfeng. So who is really the shady one here? Li Tiantian even drops a theory. Maybe Lin Feng used some forbidden dark arts for a power boost, and it completely rotted his brain. Lin Feng is internally screaming. How can these clueless, non-playable characters not see right through Bai Jinfeng's fake disguise? But he realizes the court of public opinion just cancelled him. The MC smoothly lets go of his arm, assuring everyone that things are cool. He plays the bigger person, telling the crowd it was just a heat-of-the-moment misunderstanding and that they need to stick together. Lin Feng is boiling with rage, but knows he is completely cornered. Forcing a fake smile, he grabs the MC's hand to play along. Let us see how he spins this. He blames the Hellhound's blast for his outburst, apologizing profusely for stepping out of line. He claims his head is clear now and thanks Bai Jinfeng for the save. He bows his head, literally begging for the MC's guidance moving forward. Talk about a plot twist. Our guy just went from a raging crybaby to a polite lapdog in 2 seconds flat. Honestly, the guy should be kissing my feet right now. If it weren't for me, he'd be suspect number one. I mean, he's the actual mastermind who packed up the great prophet. Hearing that, dude completely loses it and lunges at me again, only for Lilia to physically hold him back. Seriously, what is his endgame here? The entire room is dead silent, just staring at him. Like, why is he suddenly beefing with Viking Fang out of nowhere? He's sweating bullets, totally clueless. He has zero idea who this imposter is or what kind of chaotic agenda he's pushing. Get this, the original plotline never dropped a single hint about some overpowered boss running around wearing Viking Fang's face. His eyes are practically shooting lasers. In his mind, the sacred timeline can't be flawed. Viking Fang's only objective was supposed to be snatching that sealing artifact. But honestly, if this guy keeps acting like a thorn in my side, I'll just snap his neck along the way. No big deal. As long as that sealing artifact gets shattered, humanity is ticking down to a game over anyway. Annoying pests might as well clock out early. Cut to a cozy little cafe setup. Lilia called for a meetup just to drop a massive thank you for the rescue mission yesterday. She drops the intel that the squad is rolling out, like, right this second, to hunt down the sealing artifact. Lin Fen is gatekeeping the map hard, refusing to let anyone peek at it, but he did leak that the target is somewhere down south. It's going to be a massive road trip, and she's practically begging me to keep the peace with Lin Fen, hoping we don't end up at each other's throats on the road. She hits me with the classic, I've known him since childhood. He's actually a softie deep down. Her cheeks are completely flushed while she's rambling. I just look at her and casually drop the bomb. Hate to break it to you, but your boy isn't the guy you remember. It's honestly peak irony. Some filthy, parasitic soul from a totally different dimension hijacked this innocent kid's body, just soaking up all the affection and worry from a fiancé who doesn't even belong to him. And the absolute nerve of this guy, claiming he's destined to be the world's savior. Right then, I take a sip of the coffee and immediately spit it back out. Absolute garbage. Human taste buds are a total glitch, I swear. Anyway, I pivot the conversation. I look Lilia dead in the eye and ask if it ever crossed her mind that her precious fiancé might actually be mentally sick, considering his entire personality did a literal 180. I bait the hook. Do you want the old him back? Because there's a specific item down south we can grab during this raid that will factory reset his brain. Yeah, I'm totally hyping up the sealing artifact. Lilia's jaw practically hits the floor. The hope in her eyes is blinding. Wait, can it actually fix him? But obviously, the mirror reflection catches my absolute menace of a Demon King smirk. Meanwhile, let's check in on Lin Fen, who is having a full-blown meltdown. He realizes the current timeline is barely scratching the prologue of the original web novel. The real main quest hasn't even launched yet, but his brain is buffering. He distinctly remembers that during this exact tutorial phase, Viking Fang absolutely did not respawn from the grave. Though, to be fair, the Great Prophet was canonically scripted to die before Chapter 1. It clicks for him now. When he first bumped into that imposter, the guy looked super sketchy, like he was trying to dodge aggro. But the second the sealing artifact got name-dropped, the dude instantly queued up for the party. Lin Fen realizes his own isekai shenanigans totally derailed the sacred timeline. Originally, that fake Viking Fang was supposed to just dip from the server and fade into the background. That's exactly why the web novel never bothered giving a character sheet to some random NPC who cosplayed as Viking Fang for literally 48 hours. It explains why the original readers never found out who actually packed up the Great Prophet. The culprit was scripted to just vanish. Even yesterday, the guy was a total ghost, completely off the radar as Viking Fang. But because Lin Fen forced his way into the universe, the butterfly effect dragged this completely irrelevant anomaly straight into the most critical S-rank raid of the series. His anxiety spikes. Is this going to rewrite his guaranteed happy ending? Back in his past life, he was nothing but a bottom-tier loser. He literally swapped dimensions just to rewrite his stats and live out his main character fantasy. He never signed up for this level of stress, with the storyline completely glitching out of his control. But right as he's storming down the street, he spots Lilia and Viking Fang chilling together in the cafe. He's literally grinding his teeth to dust, but then his toxic ego kicks back in. He convinces himself the plot is bulletproof. He's the sole omniscient reader in this universe, the literal child of destiny. He's getting that crown, no matter what. Fast forward to the next morning. The higher-ups are giving Lin Fen his big main character speech, hyping him up to secure the sealing artifact. They're laying it on. Thick humanity's survival rests entirely on his shoulders. He's the chosen squad leader. They want boots on the ground, as soon as possible. The entire crowd starts chanting his name like he's a rock star. Glory to the heroes. He's eating it up, totally high on his own supply. Meanwhile, I'm just lurking in the cut, eating metaphorical popcorn, waiting for him to crash and burn. Cut straight to the battlefield. The raid group is already knee-deep in the danger zone, getting absolutely swarmed by a mob of monsters. It's pure chaos. I'm throwing out attacks. Lin Fen is spamming his skills. The whole squad is just grinding mobs. Honestly, the beasts have garbage-based stats, but they just keep zerging us. It's like an infinite wave defense mode. I'm honestly rethinking my life choices right now, questioning why the literal Demon King is doing free labor to help humans farm low-level mobs. Like, are these monsters actually brain-dead? Whatever, I'll just go with the flow. Suddenly, one of our party members gets absolutely fed up. He drives his blade straight into the dirt, triggering this massive, blinding green lightning area of effect attack that wipes the field. Gotta hand it to him. The kid's got hands. That's Liu Xiaoke, for you an absolute beast. Our guy drops the humble act, claiming his single target DPS is trash, but he's basically a walking nuke when it comes to AoE damage. Guys like him? This is the only way they can pull their weight. He plays it cool, dropping a massive hint. The artifact they're hunting is dead ahead. But here's the catch. The terrain up ahead is an absolute nightmare. We're talking uncharted territory, unknown mob spawns, and red flags everywhere. The squad's been grinding for days and they're running on fumes. He tells them to fall back to the nearest village and heal up while he runs a solo recon mission. The team instantly pushes back. No way they're letting him go rogue. If an ambush triggers, a solo run is basically a death sentence. But he drops the ultimate leader card. As the captain, the weight of the squad's survival is entirely on his shoulders. Finding a safe path? That's his burden. He shuts down the debate right there. His mind is made up, and no amount of begging is going to change it. The crew desperately wants him to stay put. But plot twist? Our mastermind is internally screaming with joy. Xiaoke genuinely thinks his captain is an absolute legend, completely missing the massive manipulation happening behind the scenes. Because the psychological trap is working flawlessly, and the prize is Liu Xiaoke himself. This kid isn't just some random NPC, he's a rising superstar in the hunter world. Born straight out of a demon's nest and raised in a toxic poison cave, his backstory is pure darkness. Fast forward a few years, he's destined to become an SS rank powerhouse, who completely breaks the power scaling. Right now, they're just temporary party members. But according to the original novel's timeline, this guy is supposed to be the true protagonist's most fiercely loyal right-hand man, the ultimate cheat code companion. And the only reason Xiaoke pledges that kind of insane loyalty in the main storyline, it's because the original main character tracks down insanely rare drop items to flush out the childhood toxins, slowly destroying Xiaoke's body. Crafting a flawless S-rank purification potion is the exact trigger that earns Xiaoke's eternal servitude. So what's our guy's master plan? Hijack the timeline. Before the actual main character even spawns into the story, he's going to steal Xiaoke's loyalty for himself. He isn't just pulling the strings from the shadows. He's actively stealing the plot armor right out from under the original cast. He's hijacking the destiny of this world's future saviors. His endgame? Erase the original protagonist entirely and claim the throne as the new main character. He promises to rendezvous back at the city so they can push the raid together, giving them a dramatic send-off. Meanwhile, those ultra-rare crafting materials, they're scattered all over the map, completely ignored by the NPCs of this world, who have zero clue about their actual value. But luckily for him, he practically memorized the original wiki. He knows every single spawn location. Liu Xiaoke is basically his already. But hold up, Bai Jinfeng reads people like a book. Her gut is screaming that this heroic captain isn't the type to just hand out favors for free. Pure altruism isn't in his DNA. Off to the side, Li Zia casually brings up a massive underground auction dropping in a few days, hinting they should crash it. But she can't shake off Bai Jinfeng's terrifying theory, the idea that someone else has literally hijacked a soul right in front of them. She desperately needs to win a specific soul-cleansing artifact at that auction to force this imposter out and bring the original guy back. The remaining trio exchanges glances. What's the play here? Head back to the inn and chill? But then, Bai Jinfeng locks eyes with him. It's a dead, piercing stare. She demands to know what's running through his head. He stammers, trying to defend Captain Lin Feng's reckless solo run. He admits he's totally moved by the captain's sacrifice, but the anxiety is eating him alive. Then drops the golden idea. What if we just tail him from the shadows? If a boss jumps him, we swoop in and save the day. Boom! The girls are stunned for a split second, but instantly realize it's the only logical move. They gear up to run back up. He plays it off like he doesn't want any credit, framing it as a noble mission for humanity. But in reality, he's keeping his cards close to his chest so Lin Feng doesn't catch on to their stealth op. Smash cut to our fake captain, stepping foot inside a terrifying S-rank dungeon, the chessboard of malice. According to the cheat codes in his head, the ultra-rare purification crystal, the final puzzle piece for that S-rank potion, is locked somewhere inside this twisted game. The massive catch? He has zero clue which chess piece drops it. Suddenly, an absolutely crushing aura drops on him. The air gets incredibly heavy. A colossal, animated chess piece locks onto his aggro. It's a pure fight-or-flight moment, and he chooses to sprint. Out of the corner of his eye, the spirit of the board materializes. He draws his weapon, bracing for the impact, but the sheer kinetic force is completely overwhelming. The blast launches him like a ragdoll, smashing him violently against a massive rook. He craters into the stone pillar, coughing up dust. His survival instincts flare, just in time. He barely sidesteps a brutal follow-up strike that shatters the ground where his head just was. Dropping his guard here equals an instant game over. He snaps his head around just as the knight charges down on him. "I'll sever its legs in one strike," he screams, channeling everything into his premium S-rank saber. He swings for the kill, but the impact is deafening. His prize blade literally explodes into pieces on contact. The horrific truth drops. Countless elite awakened have been slaughtered on this exact board. Their souls were completely consumed by these stone monsters, trapping them in an endless cycle of agonizing combat. These aren't just statues, they are vessels bloated with the stolen souls of dead hunters. Their power level completely shatters the S-rank ceiling. Retreat is the only option. Panicking, he instantly equips a set of magical wings and rockets into the sky. Hovering above the chaotic battlefield, he thinks he's finally out of the aggro zone, but suddenly, a lethal shadow eclipses him. It's the queen. She swats him out of the air like a literal fly, meteor slamming him into the cold dirt and shattering half his bones. His vision blurs as the reality of a wipeout sets in. His HP is in the red. There's no escape route left. As the shadows close in for the final execution, he grits his teeth. Hell no. I refuse to die like this. Our time traveler refuses to bite the dust right here. But out of nowhere, the Demon King literally grips his skull. In a blink, the enemy is completely crushed. The sheer speed of this mysterious figure leaves our guy absolutely mind-blown. He couldn't even track the movement. Just like that, those creepy chess piece monsters are vaporized into dust, leaving him clueless about his savior's identity. Suddenly, Udakatora and Xiaoke crash the scene. They demand to know if he's holding up okay, but he plays it cool, asking why the squad is crashing his solo run. Turns out, Bai Jinfeng was stressing over him. Honestly, the whole crew was low-key panicking. They tailed him the entire way, ready to jump in the second things went south. They think he's absolutely unhinged for trying to solo an S-rank dungeon. Thank God for their backup. It was actually Bai Jinfeng who pitched the stealth follow mission, and suddenly, it clicks the insane blur who just saved his life. That was totally Bai Jinfeng. Basically, the guy just hard-carried their survival. As the monstrous chess pieces disintegrate, he realizes they were actually trapping the souls of fallen awakened. Those poor souls were slaughtered by the board game monsters. Now freed, they literally thank him for cutting their chains. Even though the squad knows he's essentially the devil, Lin Feng is secretly mauling. The ultimate loot, the purification crystal, just dropped right into the Demon King's lap, and the king totally catches, Lin Feng practically drooling over it. Seriously, Lin Feng's poker face is absolute garbage. He wears his greed right on his sleeve, which is honestly pathetic. The Demon King doesn't even know what the crystal does yet, but seeing Lin Feng sweat over it confirms it's top-tier loot. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang is just hyped that Bai Jinfeng clutched up and saved them. Lin Feng is cornered. He knows, trying to steal the crystal back from his savior right in front of the squad would be a massive L. He has to swallow his pride and act like he didn't even want it. Playing the tough guy, he tells the crew to stop sweating over him. He claims he's perfectly fine and tells them to head back to base. His new game plan? Speedrun the map to hoard the rest of the materials. Sure, he lost the main crystal, but if he can just scrape together the secondary ingredients, he can still craft a scuffed, semi-finished S-rank purification potion. It won't be god tier, but it'll get the job done. Little does he know, Bai Jinfeng is watching his every move like a hawk. The harder Lin Feng tries to act innocent, the more villainous he looks. The Demon King decides to play a little game. Whatever Lin Feng wants, he's going to snipe it first. Cut to the S-rank Drybone Lake. Lin Feng rolls up expecting prime loot, only to find Bai Jinfeng chilling on a massive skull. Fancy seeing you here? Bai Jinfeng smirks, already flexing the ultra-rare fire pill material he just scooped up. Lin Feng is literally fuming. He pivots to his backup plan, sprinting to the next drop zone. But guess who's already there? Bai Jinfeng is casually tossing the ultra-rare bone dragon scales in the air. He just cleared the A-rank bone dungeon before Lin Feng even blinked. Next stop, the S-rank wind-whipped abyss. Same story. Bai Jinfeng has already snatched the legendary peerless water. Lin Feng is having a complete mental breakdown. Zero loot. Nothing. Bai Jinfeng literally swept the entire map clean. But he can't exactly throw a tantrum out loud. He realizes Bai Jinfeng purposefully baited them into leaving just to monopolize the drops. It's insanely sus. These crafting items are priceless, sure, but Bai Jinfeng is absolutely loaded. He doesn't need the cash. So what's his endgame? Suddenly, Xiaoke steps up, asking to speak with Mr. Bai. He takes one look at the loot stash, and his jaw drops. These are the exact mythical ingredients Xiaoke has been grinding his whole life to find. He begs to just take a closer look at the stash. The Demon King is mildly amused. Right in front of everyone, he instantly synthesizes the items and pulls off the impossible, crafting a flawless S-rank purification potion. Flexing the glowing vial, he looks at Xiaoke. Is this the juice you've been crying over? Xiaoke is literally shaking, tears welling up in his eyes. This isn't just any potion. It's the stuff of legends. Elite pharmacists swore this formula was a myth, completely impossible to brew. Bai Jinfeng just shrugs. You want it? Catch. He tosses the priceless artifact over like it's a piece of trash. Xiaoke completely breaks down, sobbing. He can't believe it was handed to him that easily. This single vial will instantly flush out all the deadly toxins that have been slowly killing him for years. Overwhelmed with sheer gratitude, Xiaoke dive bombs the floor, literally wrapping his arms around Bai Jinfeng's leg, crying his eyes out in thanks. The Demon King is utterly disgusted. He's thinking, bro, what is wrong with you? It's literally just some colored water. Why are you acting so pathetic? He doesn't want loyalty or favors. He just wants this crying dude to unhand his ankle. Being the Demon King, he despises this clingy nonsense. Great, another human simp to deal with, he groans internally. It's a massive headache, and he just wants Xiaoke to back off. But off to the side, Lin Feng is experiencing catastrophic levels of rage. His grandmaster plan to buy Liu Xiaoke's ultimate loyalty was just completely hijacked. It's an absolute humiliation, yet Bai Jinfeng just stands there with a deadpan expression. The worst part? Those were the exact materials needed to craft the holy grail potion Xiaoke was desperate for. Lin Feng realizes he did all the scouting and planning to recruit this guy as his pawn, only for Bai Jinfeng to steal the kill. And what drives him truly crazy? How the hell did Bai Jinfeng know the exact spawn points of every item? More importantly, the mystery deepens. How was he so dead certain that the original Bai Jinfeng was actually 6 feet under? It looks like the ultimate truth drop is locked behind a paywall, until Lilia can secure the artifacts needed to restore his soul. Swallowing his massive L, Lin Feng barks at the squad to fall back and rest up. The new strategy is to wait for Lilia and Tian Tian to rendezvous. Once the squad regroups, they're launching a full-scale raid for the artifact. The Demon King is completely caught off guard by this pivot, leaving him slightly annoyed while Lin Feng internally seethes. Bro knows exactly how many times this guy messed up his plans, but he literally couldn't lay a single finger on him. Cut to them chilling at the hideout. The boss drops a massive bombshell. Wipe out Bai Jinfeng. His loyal right-hand man is totally tripping. Wait, didn't Bai literally save his life multiple times? Plus, Bai is genuinely a solid dude. But orders are orders. The old retainer has watched this spoiled boss grow up since he was just a kid. He's the definition of a ride-or-die servant. He knows full well that Bai's power level is off the charts, and a head-on clash is basically self-sabotage. But the boss demands he use forbidden arts. The goal? Forcefully crack the legendary double S tier for a split second. The old man knows he can pull this off. The catch? It costs his actual lifespan. His bloodline has been serving this boss's family for absolute generations. Back in the day, the boss even promised they were straight-up family, but Lin Feng is completely gaslighting him right now. He throws the ultimate guilt trip, claiming the old man's lifelong loyalty means absolute garbage. Besides, Lin Feng flexes that he is the main character, the chosen one destined to snatch the sealed artifact and hard carry humanity's future. So obviously, the hero can't be the one throwing his life away. The servant is genuinely stunned by this sheer audacity. He drops to his knees, stating he is totally ready to die not for some greater good of mankind, but strictly to honor his vow of loyalty to the bitter end. Lin Feng rolls his eyes like this emotional speech is pure cringe. But whatever gets the job done, right? Smash cut to the city park. Bai Jinfeng is just minding his own business. Suddenly, the water ripples. A massive ice crystal pierces the surface. The entire pond is flash freezing. Someone is definitely hunting him down. Incoming barrage. In a fraction of a second, the entire lake is a solid block of frost. That aura? Big double S, rank energy. Bai is racking his brain, trying to remember when he beefed with a top-tier powerhouse. A storm of razor-sharp icicles blitzes straight for his face. The smoke clears. It's the old man. He forced his way into the forbidden double S zone, actively burning his own life force to keep it up. Bai locks eyes with him. The guy is coughing up blood, looking totally unhinged. Honestly, respect. He is literally the first human to ever draw blood from our OP Demon King. First blood goes to him, but this is exactly where his luck runs out. The servant stares down Mr. Bai Jinfeng. He admits he has mad respect for Bai. Because of that, he promises to make it quick. One clean, fatal strike to skip the torture, especially since his own health bar is draining by the second. Meanwhile, the Demon King just smirks. He has been dying for a real fight. He wants to witness firsthand what a double S ranker can actually do. Boom! A massive attack drops from the sky, forcing Bai to hit a flawless backflip to dodge. Wild detail. The droplets of blood that fell, completely frozen solid. The cold is literally invading his veins. This guy's power is absolutely broken. He can manipulate literally any liquid, including the blood pumping inside his target. But hold up, the old man pauses. He realizes Bai's blood hits differently. It's way too dense. He actually can't control it at all. Plan B it is. The servant cranks his aura into overdrive, glowing with terrifying energy. The Demon King immediately spots the anomaly. That violent, pitch-black aura, that is straight-up demonic mana. The audacity of a mortal attempting to wield the dark arts. Is he not terrified of going completely feral? Nope. The guy is throwing away his humanity purely to simp for the young master and the so-called glory of the Lin family. The sky breaks open. Rain pours down, instantly freezing into thousands of lethal ice spears aimed right at the Demon King's dome. It's an absolute bullet hell. Bai crosses his arms to tank the hit. A massive explosion shakes the park, leaving Ground Zero covered in absolute zero frost. The old man finally drops out of his super state. He's tapped out. The recoil means his heart is about to stop beating any second now, but his jaw drops when the smoke clears. Our boy Bai is standing there without a single scratch. The ultimate sacrifice was literally for nothing. Bai just dusts off his shoulders like it was a light breeze. Though honestly, Bai is secretly impressed. The old man managed to chip away a tiny sliver of his health bar. Okay, let's be real. It was basically chip damage, but for a human, that is a massive W. My turn, Bai declares. The servant is completely paralyzed by despair. Bai closes the gap instantly and grips the guy's face. Time to meet your maker. The old man is still glitching out, trying to compute how Bai tanked that ultimate, but he just accepts his fate. Just finish me, he grunts. He's a dead man walking anyway with that life force drain. Going out as a martyr for the Lin bloodline was literally his only bucket list goal. Lin, the Demon King scans his vitals. Yeah, even if he doesn't snap his neck right now, the backlash from the forbidden jutsu is going to flatline him in minutes. Bro totally overestimated his own hardware, burning his soul to run that forbidden software. The servant braces for the final hit, begging for a quick end. But wait. A warm glow surrounds him. Bai is actually healing him. The servant's brain short-circuits. Why are you doing this? He stammers. Bai just smirks. Did I ever say I wanted you dead? Keep the drama to yourself. Plus, slaughtering some loyal guard dog was never on Bai's agenda. The old man is absolutely mind-blown. How is the guy he just tried to assassinate showing him zero toxicity? Bai chuckles. Honestly, the raw loyalty kind of hit him right in the feels. Real recognizes real. He tells the servant to just make up some fake report for his boss. Because, let's be brutally honest, the Demon King isn't here to farm low-level human mobs. His actual master plan? Shatter the sealed artifact and wipe the entire human server clean. You don't trip over pennies on your way to $1 million. Suddenly, Bai shifts his gaze. He knows someone has been lurking in the shadows this whole time. It's Xiao. She's been watching the whole interaction, getting totally flustered, seeing Bai act so gentle and merciful. She has literally never met a dude with this much crazy drip and power, yet remaining so incredibly wholesome. Bai, fully aware of her gaze, extends a hand to the battered servant and tells him to take a break. He drops one last line. If you're stressing about what to tell your boss, to bail out his young master, all he needs is a little acting. Time to fake a serious injury and play the victim card. The guy is totally blown away, begging to know how to repay this massive favor before dipping out. Alright, with him out of the picture, there is only one target left. Wait, He flexed way too hard back there. If he doesn't dial it back, they're definitely gonna get suspicious. Cue the dramatic chest grab. Wink wink. He collapses to the floor like an absolute drama queen. Xiaobo instantly rushes over, totally panicking and begging to know what is wrong. Hook, line, and sinker. He actually starts cracking up because she fell for it so easily, leaving her completely stunned. Like, be for real, who casually tanks a double S-class strike without a single scratch? He must have been faking his tough guy act this whole time. While he is playing the tragic victim, he is secretly dying of laughter on the inside. But hold up, what is Miss Lilia even doing hanging around here? Turns out, she actually bagged the soul-restoring potion. She brags about sniping it from the auction house since, let us be real, nobody has deeper pockets than her family. She dropped a massive bag to win that bid. Still, she is getting major vibes that our boy does not trust her one bit. Plus, if she just hands over the potion, what if he is not actually possessed? Chugging an intense elixir like that for no reason could literally destroy his body. Out of nowhere, he gently grabs her face. He completely shuts down the idea that she could be the villain here. I mean, look at her. She is absolutely gorgeous. He bets every single guy is head over heels for her. What if that rogue soul is actually targeting her? He acts totally stressed about her safety. Her cheeks immediately turn bright red at the compliment. Sure, she gets hyped up by endless simp dudes all the time, but coming from him, she is actually blushing instead of cringing. But the second Lin Feng drops that line, she goes completely silent. Even though she knows she is fully locked into an engagement with Lin Feng, he keeps pushing the act, swearing he could never watch her get hurt. The emotional overload is just too much. She literally short-circuits and sprints out of the room. She yells out a quick thanks for caring and vows to make him drink that potion. Meanwhile, the Demon King is just smirking inside his head. Greed, obsession, jealousy, apathy, and straight-up lust. He kicks back and relaxes, realizing that humans are ridiculously easy to play like a fiddle. But hold up, there is actually someone else who is even easier to. Manipulation at its finest. He didn't just bail. He stayed in the shadows, clocking every single move, fully aware that the Lin Feng standing there is straight-up possessed. It's honestly mind-blowing to think the real young master is just gone from this reality. Cut to the crib, where the whole squad is chilling. Right now, it's just the four of them holding down the fort. Bai Jinfeng and Gao are MIA, but the fake Lin Feng waves it off, insisting they shouldn't waste time waiting. He tells everyone to dig in. Leaning over to Leah, he casually brags about scouting the nearby dungeon while she was out. He claims he memorized all the escape routes, playing the protector card so she'd feel totally safe around him. But Leah is on a stealth mission. She just needs this guy to down a specific potion to prove Mr. Bai's crazy theory right. Sliding the cup over, she plays dumb, mentioning she brewed this remedy to help him bounce back from his injuries 2 days ago. Eating up the attention, the imposter acts all flattered. He thanks her for caring, but then totally crosses the line with a super inappropriate touch. He smoothly promises to spoil her rotten in the future. Caught completely off guard, her face instantly flares up bright red from the sheer audacity. Red flag right there. There is zero chance the real Lin Feng would pull a stunt like that. The dude has been socially awkward and super shy his entire life. Bro couldn't even confess his feelings properly if his life depended on it. Mr. Bai was spot on. Instantly grossed out, she shoves him back and demands some personal space. Right on cue, Gao bursts through the doors, finally back from his top-secret operation, looking totally shell-shocked. Seeing the fake Lin Feng chilling there, Gao thinks his guy actually pulled it off. He admits he was sweating bullets over the second young master's safety. Gao drops a massive bombshell, triggering that forbidden technique literally cost him 20 to 30 years of his own lifespan. But despite all that, the imposter violently cuts him off. In his twisted mind, burning through decades of life means absolute zero as long as the job got done. Tossing out a fake promise to reward him later, he tries to pivot back to dinner. But the vibe shifts the second he spots Bai Jinfeng lurking right behind him. Bai rolls up looking visibly stunned. The imposter squints, wondering why this guy looks like he just saw a ghost, and steps right up to his face. Bai casually mentions he scooped up some fresh intel, but before he can even blink, the fake Lin Feng aggressively slams him pinned against the wall. Total confusion fills the room. Leah instantly dashes over to check on Bai Jinfeng, whispering frantically that this guy is acting way too unhinged. She warns him to watch his back. Meanwhile, the imposter glares, furious and confused as to why his own supposed fiancée is siding with the enemy. The tension spikes as they glance over at Tian Tian. Honestly, seeing Captain Lin and Mr. Bai at each other's throats tonight isn't even shocking. Those two have been beefing and plotting each other's downfall forever. The fake Lin Feng is absolutely fuming, blaming this entire messy situation on a total scrub who couldn't even handle a basic side quest. But wait, the original second young master was basically a giant softie. always treating his staff with deep respect. It's blatantly obvious that Gao is severely injured. Seeing the pure malice in the fake's eyes locks it in. The wild theory isn't just a theory anymore, it is the terrifying truth. This officially means the real young master is in critical danger, or worse, completely erased. Knowing this, Gao's eyes dart straight toward the soup resting on the table. Tian Tian nervously mutters about choosing sides if an all-out brawl breaks out. The hesitation is real. Nobody knows what the next move should be. Do they back the possessed boss, or Bai Jinfeng? Accepting his massive failure, Gao admits he won't dodge any beatdowns or trash talk coming his way. But he plays the loyalty card perfectly, begging the master to down the healing brew first so he won't stress over his health. Falling for the trap, the imposter violently snatches the bowl. Spitting straight venom, the fake sneers that trash will always be trash, completely useless for real missions, and only barely surviving as a glorified errand boy. Trying to keep his alpha image intact in front of the whole squad, he chugs the liquid without thinking. But a split second later, the ceramic bowl shatters against the floor. Panic sets in. He has zero clue what is happening to his system, completely missing the fact that the crew's anxiety is for the original soul, not this parasite. Jaws practically hit the floor as everyone watches him absolutely glitch out. They turn to Bai Jinfeng, demanding to know what kind of dark magic is going down. The goal here is maximum chaos, sparking a massive scene to expose the fraud, even if this imposter is the only living, breathing map to the sealed artifact. Who even cares? They absolutely cannot let this glitch dominate their universe. Inside that shell, a vicious tug-of-war kicks off over who truly drives Lin Feng's body. The invader tries to dip, desperately tracking down the host's actual consciousness. It's an all-out mental war for the driver's seat. He realizes his cover is blown, and he cannot let the squad confirm he's a fraud. Suddenly, both battling souls realize they hit a massive roadblock. They are completely stalled out. But then, Bai Jinfeng locks eyes with Tian Tian, and a super sketchy, knowing smirk creeps across both of their faces. We instantly snap into the mindscape with the real Lin Feng. The so-called useless kid admits his original soul is basically fading into pixels. He was way too weak to solo an overpowered transmigrator. But right now, this chaotic glitch is his absolute one and only window to hijack his own meat suit for a few seconds. He has to drop some crucial endgame loot before he fades a straight-up cheat code pulled directly from the invader's own memories. Deep inside the hijacker's brain, he spotted an entire web novel titled The Hero Defeats the Demon King, basically a giant spoiler script for their world's future. His master plan? Speedwrite the entire plot and pass it off to someone he trusts with his life. The epic saga kicks off with an absolute prodigy. Enter Li Ge, the undisputed future champion and the main character of this crazy timeline. The lore starts the very first time Li Ge steps out of his hometown. In a total freak accident outside some random tavern, he absolutely flatlined a clueless, blind NPC. And yeah, that doomed loser was none other than Lin Feng. That single kill triggered hardcore beef with the entire Lin bloodline. Pushed through endless brutal trials and insane leveling up, the chosen one, Li Ge, finally sliced down the Demon King right as the first winter snow dropped at least. That is exactly how the transmigrator's memories script it. You could easily tell this guy, Bai Jingfan, actually has a heart of gold. He is built different, genuinely a solid and honorable dude. I am leaving him the prophetic novel, but only if he can absolutely crush this fake otherworldly soul. Once he gets the letter, back at the guild headquarters, a spirit bird is going to drop off my final message. Right then, our guy Bai Jingfan, armed with all the spoilers from that book, can finally team up with the main character, flex on the Demon King, and literally save the world. Honestly, it is the only decent thing I have done in my entire trash fire of a life. My soul is fading fast, and I am seconds away from losing my grip on this body permanently. I am just praying Bai Jingfan can step up and completely shut down this imposter. He fades out, and boom, the dark presence takes the wheel. He cannot risk exposing his true identity, meaning everyone in his squad is getting wiped out tomorrow. Cut to the double S-class dungeon, the Cave of 1,000 Demons. Just as you would expect from a zone hiding god-tier loot, the sheer scale of this place is mind-blowing. But something is totally off. Why are the monsters just frozen like statues? Turns out, the captain pulled some massive brainplay to freeze them. The guy is a walking encyclopedia. Meanwhile, the squad is chilling at the top of the massive staircase. The divine fragment is practically screaming his name, and he claims it mentally. While the team is trying to play it safe, he is already calculating his next move to snatch the prize without catching any stray damage. Suddenly, Lin Fei violently backstabs the entire squad. Pure shock hits their faces as he snatches the artifact and bolts. He genuinely thinks he outsmarted them all. He literally leaves them behind to become monster food for the double S-tier nightmares. With them dead, his fake hero status is perfectly safe. Tian Tian instantly realizes they are doomed because the horde just snapped out of their trance and they are swarming. Bai Jingfan barks at the team to run for their lives. Tian Tian is panicking, screaming that they are already boxed in and bleeding out. But Bai Jingfan steps up, declaring he will hold the line while they escape. The squad is completely shaken. They are begging him not to throw his life away, but the realization hits he is basically dying so they can live. They force themselves to sprint, so his sacrifice actually means something. He promises to lock the massive gates and tank the mob solo, urging them to just go. Deep down, Tian Tian realizes that no matter what his true motive is, this crazy play is literally pulling them out of the grave. She mentally prays that he somehow survives to crush the Demon King. But the second those heavy iron doors slam shut, a menacing smirk spreads across his face. With the dead weight gone, it is time for a dramatic reveal. It has been a minute since he saw his loyal subjects. The beasts lunge at him like rabid dogs, but he has been locked up way too long, and he absolutely unleashes his suffocating, god-level aura. The disrespect is crazy. They completely forgot who the boss is. After sending a massive shockwave that rattles their bones, his true demonic pressure explodes through the cavern. The sheer terror instantly jogs their memory. Realizing they just tried to bite the actual Demon King, the entire horde drops to the floor, shaking and bowing in absolute submission. With the hierarchy restored, he casually orders them to go butcher that rat, Lin Fei. Meanwhile, Lin Fei is booking it. He smugly thinks he is untouchable because he literally force-bound the divine fragments to his own bloodline, convincing himself the contract is unbreakable. In his head, he is the untouchable hero, but his ego trip gets hard-stopped when a wall of terrifying beasts blocks his path. Then, the Demon King steps from the shadows. Lin Fei is paralyzed. This humanoid nightmare looks bizarrely familiar, flashing the most psychotic smile imaginable. He immediately shoves his panic down. Survival is the only objective right now. He spots the surface exit, glowing way up high. If he just makes it out, he wins. But the Demon King coldly snaps his fingers, commanding the horde to rip him apart and fetch the loot. A literal tsunami of teeth and claws crashes into him. Lin Fei desperately pops his skills, slicing through the first wave like butter. The guy is definitely not weak. He launches himself into the air, completely bypassing the swarm. Watching him scramble, the Demon King just laughs out loud, treating it like a hilariously bad comedy show. But playtime is over. He signals a shadowy beast that instantly clamps its jaws around Lin Fei's leg. Lin Fei frantically hacks at the monster to break free as a sea of giant vipers slithers closer. In a brutal move, he ends up losing a leg just to shake them off, absolutely obsessing over dragging those divine fragments out of the cave. Delusional to the core, he keeps muttering that he is the chosen savior, sprouting energy wings. Our broken hero desperately tries to fly away. The Demon King is totally chilling, whispering that he just needs the items. The courier's pulse is totally optional. Mid-air, another winged nightmare snags his arm. Lin Fei is violently thrashing, throwing wild punches to shake the beast off, but a second gargoyle slams into him. Suddenly, his arm is completely shredded off. Bleeding out with only one good limb left, he glares at the exit, furious, but so close. He still firmly believes he can clutch this survival run. But the Demon King is just watching him with a sick grin, knowing that giving someone fake hope is literally the most psychological torture you can inflict. Lin Fei pushes through the agony, thinking that if he just breaches the surface, his glorious hero arc begins. But the split second his hand touches the top ledge, the Demon King is already crouching right there. Lin Fei's brain short-circuits trying to process the impossible speed. The guy was at the bottom of the abyss, literally a second ago. The king leans in, dropping the cold, hard truth. The gap in their stats is astronomically huge, and this was never a chase, it was a game. Before the horror fully sets in, a massive barrage of dark energy blasts erupts under Lin Fei, sending his broken body plummeting back down to the cold, hard dungeon floor. Smashed against the rocks, his mind completely shatters. The boss casually strolls up to rip the divine gear from his corpse, but suddenly, the cursed artifacts spark with chaotic energy, aggressively rejecting him. He has no clue what's happening or why his hands are phasing right through it, but a twisted laugh escapes his lips. He's still breathing, and he's absolutely obsessed with snatching his prize. To claim those fragments, you literally have to be a human hero. But plot twist? That's physically impossible now, thanks to the binding contract he just signed with the devil. It belongs exclusively to him. Even catching a body won't void this agreement. His signature is already locked in blood. Talk about a massive headache. The Demon King is left completely speechless, but right on cue, the original Lin Feng's soul rips its way out from the shadows. He snaps, vowing to sabotage this whole operation. He straight up tells the fake he doesn't deserve the hero title, and they are both taking a one-way trip to hell. 2 souls, 1 body. And don't even think this is just a temporary glitch. The transmigrator's spirit is glitching hard right now, totally destabilized from his massive injuries. He desperately lunges for the fragment, but his fingers grasp absolutely nothing. Forget it. They might share a body, but the original guy can actually break the deal. Boom, the contract is officially shattered. Just like that, the divine relic resets to default, completely ownerless. The imposter loses his mind, screaming that Lin Feng is completely unhinged. He busted his back grinding for this exact drop. If he had just managed to seal the Demon King, his name would be trending worldwide. What an absolute idiot. Honestly, it makes perfect sense why everyone treated him like total garbage. He totally deserved to get completely folded by the main character in Chapter 1. But hold up, Lin Feng hits back with a reality check. Even with massive plot armor and the overpowered buff from the divine relic, this fake was rotten to the core. Giving him power would straight up trigger an apocalyptic disaster. Bro didn't care about saving the world, he was just farming for clout. He'd literally backstab his own squad without blinking, which is exactly why the Demon King steps up to snatch the fragment. And get this, that's the exact mythical item humanity needs to keep the Demon King locked away forever. The irony of forging a contract with this guy is actually insane. The plot is spiraling totally out of control, and he's already got the relic clutched in his palm. The fake Lin Feng glares at Bai Jinfeng, warning him not to get too hyped. If Bai dares to land the finishing blow, the Lin family will hunt him down to the ends of the earth. Nobody's going to believe some random guy scored the divine drop. He's going to have to cough it up eventually anyway. But the gears in his head start turning. Something's totally off here, Lilia. Pulling a vanishing act definitely means she set him up. Gao definitely spiked his meds too. That's the only logical reason this original loser's soul managed to hijack the body back. He swears that the second he makes it back to the guild, he's wiping the floor with every single one of them. But right then, the vibe shifts dramatically. His own hand raises his blade, pressing the cold steel right against his own throat. The transmigrator is completely utterly shocked, but Lin Feng warned him. The fake is pure evil, and there's zero chance Lin Feng lets this parasite use his body to nuke the world. He's forcing a factory reset on his own life mutually assured destruction style. He turns to Bai Jinfeng and officially passes the torch. He hands over the divine fragment, putting the fate of the entire world squarely on Bai's shoulders. The real Lin Feng embraces his final moments, dragging his ultimate hater down with him. Nobody ever thought the ultimate underdog would actually go out like an absolute legend. The blade slices deep, and the fake soul screams in pure denial. But it's game over. His HP hits 0. We get a smash cut to a massive system alert. The strike team, deployed by the Hunter Association, has successfully secured the divine relic. Once all the missing pieces are finally gathered up, humanity will unlock the ultimate power to seal the Demon Tower for good. The whole world is basically breathing a massive sigh of relief. The streets are popping off with massive celebrations. And the supposed absolute unit who led the squad and secured the bag? None other than Bai Jinfeng. The media instantly crowns him the ultimate savior of humanity. The scene transitions straight to the Hunter Association headquarters. Gossip spreads like wildfire about Bai Jinfeng flexing his massive generosity by handing out the ultra-rare purification potion. Everyone's glazing him up, talking about how he stepped up to heal casualties caused by dark magic. The hype train is officially unstoppable. Even Lin Feng's gorgeous fiancée is totally swooning over the guy. Bai Jinfeng is literally trending everywhere, branded as the chosen one from birth. Tian Tian slides up to the Demon King, spilling the tea that the headmaster completely dragged Lin Feng's name through the mud. They framed him for constantly griefing his own teammates. The guild pulled off a massive cover-up, scrubbing Lin Feng's entire existence from the records. They officially credited Bai as the sole squad leader, effectively handing him all the XP and glory. His fake origin story is going super viral, with everyone completely convinced he's the final boss slayer. But Tian Tian points out the obvious, all that hype is totally stolen. It completely ignores reality to boost Bai Jinfeng. Yeah, the same basic guy we saw all the way back in Chapter 2, remember him? But the Demon King holds the actual receipts. He knows the real Lin Feng went out in a blaze of glory, taking down absolute trash with him. He never expected the universe's punching bag to pull off a legendary sacrifice. The irony is actually wild to him. The legit GOAT dies completely nameless, while Bai Jinfeng, a total coward and massive fraud, gets global superstar status. Tian Tian asks the Demon King where he's heading next, and he casually replies he's off to return a massive favor. If there's one thing he hates, it's having a debt hanging over his head. We jump to a super shady location, where someone updates the Grand Summoner. Turns out, that imported soul she dragged from another dimension just got flatlined alongside the loser, Lin Feng. But she doesn't even flinch. She can literally just spawn infinite souls from alternate timelines, because society couldn't care less if random ghosts hijack the bodies of bottom-tier trash. The public just writes it off as a sudden glow-up for the losers. Meet the Parallel World Summoner, one of the 7 Elders, even though she honestly doesn't look a day over 20. But hold up, he's actually feeling bad for the original vessel. Imagine just minding your own business, and boom, Your body and identity get totally hijacked by some random soul. It is basically straight up murder. Still, he can't afford to get all soft and sentimental now. They are doing this for the sake of world peace, right? You know the drill, sacrifice the few to save the masses. But if you really break it down, it is just as messed up for the soul getting yanked from their parallel universe. One second you are living your normal life, and the next, you are forcefully isekai'd into this chaotic reality just to play hero. They get dragged into this dimension to serve as pawns while being praised as legends. Honestly, I am convinced these guys signed some shady deal with the infamous Truck-kun delivery service just to rack up a body count. Okay, capping aside, she keeps dropping the heavy lore. These transmigrated souls are trapped in an endless loop of servitude. If one bites the dust, no biggie. The universe just hits refresh and summons a replacement. Zero consequences. He totally sees right through her master plan. But here is the massive plot twist. The great prophet kicked the bucket, meaning the divine cheat code of writing prophecies into novels is gone. And spoiler alert, her timer is ticking too, because the dude standing right in front of her, that is the Demon King in disguise. Her mind is absolutely blown by his shape-shifting flex. If he is not the director, then who is this guy? Before she can even process the betrayal, he ruthlessly impales her. He claims he is just a critic, who absolutely despises cringy, passionate novels. He literally blows a massive hole straight through her chest, leaving her fading out without even knowing why she got clapped. But our villain just bursts into a psychotic laugh. He casually mentions how some absolute fool sacrificed everything to hand him a god-tier fragment of a divine artifact on a silver platter. Now, the Demon King hates leaving debts unpaid, so he decided to return the massive favor. His idea of a thank you gift? Delivering absolute, cold-blooded revenge. Panic instantly spreads like wildfire through the crowd as screams echo. The great summoner is dead. The guards rush in to check the carnage. Realizing things went south, Lin Feng instantly dips. He knows he only secured a single fragment, while the human faction just fumbled their biggest asset. Even if by some miracle they collect all the pieces, he seriously doubts it will be enough to lock down the demonic tower permanently. He is completely lost on his next move. Just as he is wandering through the shadows, a girl pops up out of nowhere. She finally tracked him down. She hands him a massive, bulky letter that arrived a few days ago. He is completely baffled. Who even sends physical mail anymore, let alone an entire manuscript? But wait, it is not just a letter. It is a full-blown novel. And no way. Is this the legendary original draft co-written by the Great Summoner and the Great Prophet? Turns out, it is the exact blueprint of their reality. As he skims through the pages, the insane truth of the letter finally drops. The original soul blew its absolute last chance at taking back its body, just to leave behind a massive cheat code, the ultimate trump card from the other world. The plan was simple: hand Lin Feng the script so he could guide the actual main character to save the world and utterly destroy the Demon King. That soul literally burned away its remaining lifespan, hoping this gamble would pay off. Lin Feng is absolutely stunned. The real protagonist has not even made an entrance yet, so basically, Lin Feng was meant to be nothing but a trash-tier side character this whole time. The true hero of this story? Some guy named Li Jie, and the prophecy states that by the time the very first snowfall hits, the Chosen One will annihilate the Demon King. Lin Feng cannot help but let out a dark smirk. The sheer audacity of destiny actually hypes him up. He makes his choice right then and there. He is staying in this world just to hunt down and completely obliterate this so-called genius. Smash cut to a new location, where an absolute beast of a hunter just folded a massive monster. The scavengers try to claim the loot, but our guy is not having it. He tosses them the scraps and walks away. He literally could not care less about low-level drops. When the locals beg Li Ge to join their raid party, he flat-out rejects them. He trusts 0 people and definitely does not need dead weight holding him back. All he cares about is the grind. He effortlessly slices through a high-tier aquatic beast, and boom, mission accomplished. A glowing blue screen pops up, physical stats boosted by 10 times. This is Li Ge, an ordinary dude from a rundown border town. But exactly 2 weeks ago, a massive system interface literally hacked into his vision. Now, the system spams him with daily quests, and every single time he clears one, he bags insane, overpowered rewards, like a massive 10 times multiplier to his raw physical strength. By grinding out these insane quests, back to back, his power scaling is going straight off the charts. He is fully committed to the ultimate solo leveling journey to become an absolute god. The bystanders are looking at him like he is absolutely tweaking, just posing at thin air. But classic main character vibes, he is the only human alive who can actually see the glowing holographic UI. It is that broken, plot armor talent, meant exclusively for the MC. But Li Ge knows better than to get cocky. If he wants to reach the top, staying frosty and hyper-vigilant is basically his golden rule to survive this nightmare mode. He knows this grinding phase has only just begun. Whipping the camera back to our dark anti-hero, the intel girl reports back to Lin Feng, confirming that the mysterious hunter he put a radar on 2 weeks ago, he is finally making moves. The dude perfectly matching Li Ji's description just popped up on the grid, and she is ready to escort Lin Feng straight to him right this second. Oh, and just to build up that cinematic tension, she reminds him that the season just hit autumn. The clock is officially ticking. Meanwhile, Li Jia pulls up to the Hunter Association front desk, ready to register. But the receptionist hits him with the ultimate rejection. Sorry kid, your rank is complete trash and you lack field experience. They completely lock him out of the main headquarters, tossing him an application for some rookie branch instead. This is a massive roadblock for our MC. His actual stats are skyrocketing way too fast, and his official system rank literally cannot keep up with his insane physical buffs. But getting blacklisted from the main guild means zero access to high-tier intel. Right as he is stressing out, a hand suddenly claps onto his shoulder. It is Lin Feng. Spotting that undeniable main character energy, he drops the ultimate bait. Want to join my squad? We are about to raid a god-tier artifact fragment. Perfect. This loophole was his golden ticket into the association, and bonus, he'd get to stick right by his side. Except, dude doesn't even need a sidekick or a quest right now. But look, if crashing the main headquarters is a bust, he could always grind for XP at a local branch. Bro is literally just starting his glow-up, meaning he's got to play it safe and take baby steps. Suddenly, a glowing prompt flashes in front of him. Quest alert, infiltrate the Hunter Association headquarters. Accept today's daily quest? The payoff? A massive 10 times multiplier to his mana cap. But if he hits decline, it wipes completely. And that insane buff is gone forever. So yeah, the stakes are set. He has to breach the Hunter Association today, whatever it takes. I mean, boosting his mana is an absolute win. Still, Li Gei is acting super sus. Why is he staring daggers at the boss like that? Wait a minute, major deja vu kicking in. This exact setup happened at the very beginning. Smash cut to someone else. Someone practically speeding to reach HQ. He hits him with a reality check, asking if he knew that half a month ago, a rookie hunter dropped named Bai Jingfeng. He's leading the vanguard to snatch the divine shard. But our guy isn't having it. He tells him to shut up and floor it. Because get this, he literally just respawned through time and space. Now, he's on a hardcore mission to break the loop and dodge his own death in this timeline. Today was supposed to be his orientation day at Hunter HQ, but he is desperately trying to dodge that system prompt because he needs to stay miles away from that guy. Let me untangle this. Future Liga time-traveled into the body of past Liga to stop his past self from getting completely wiped out. Yeah, total brain melter, I know. But here's the crazy part. How does he not realize the dude standing right in front of him is literally the Demon King in disguise? They've already pulled up his entire file. On paper, he's just a 20-year-old D-rank scrub running with Bai Jingfeng's squad. And boom. Congratulations. You're officially drafted into the main Hunter Association. Massive win. By pulling this off, he didn't just crack the most elite guild in the world. He just multiplied his magical limit by 10. Insane scaling. Rolling out with an absolute god-tier squad sounds like a whole vibe right now. Honestly, the system's GPS never misses. The rest of the crew is clueless about his weird behavior. But whatever, just edgy teen phase things. They're immune to the cringe at this point. Hold up though. He just secured top-secret intel on where the second shard and the mythic relic are hiding. He demands they roll out instantly, leaving the whole squad stunned. Bai Jingfeng is an absolute unit, literally carrying humanity on his back. But plot twist? That classified intel was total cap. He literally just made it up 5 seconds ago. His actual master plan? Drag Liga out to some ghost town dungeon and off him in the shadows. Meanwhile, the oblivious girls are just hyped for a road trip. Wild, right? Our guy is basically a broke demon king stripped of his magic tower bloodline. He's just trying to play it safe, dodging the heavy hitters in the city, dragging his target to the boonies to quietly zero him out. Though, if his squad keeps hyping him up, he's gonna actually die of embarrassment. Cut to the creepy abandoned motel on the outskirts. After driving all day, this is their crash pad. It used to be a cozy little town, until dungeon monsters spawned and literally paved it. Zero human life signs left. They're camping out in a total wasteland, surrounded by active gates. The rule is simple. Stay put after dark, catch some sleep, and hit the road at dawn. Guys get one room tonight, girls get the other. They're setting up a rotation to pull guard duty through the night, with strict orders to follow his lead and stay alive. But just as he settles in, the system chimes. Clock hits midnight. A fresh daily quest already? The hologram tells him to pull up to an A-rank gate, sitting exactly 3 kilometers dead north. The objective? Solo kill an A-rank boss known as the String Puppet. An A-rank zone. His current stats could technically handle it, but what if things go sideways? Oh wait, He's packing an S-rank potion in his inventory. Let's backtrack 2 weeks ago. Bro was literally starving on the streets, and now he's about to score top-tier mythic loot. He casually tells the squad he's stepping out for fresh air, knowing the system always engineers his path. To power him up, he completely trusts the process. He's cooking up his own master plan, riding high on that main character energy. He warns the rookie to stick to the script, but he's got side quests to handle and promises to be back by sunrise, so the captain lets him walk. Someone mutters to the captain that dragging this noob along was a huge mistake. The captain just smirks, claiming he sees raw talent and wants to mold him. But come on, Li Ji's stats are basically trash. What if he gets wrecked out there? It's a monster hot zone. Whatever. He probably just has his own shady business to sort out, so they drop the subject. Time to catch some sleep. Surely the kid will survive the night. Fast forward to the A-rank gate, the macabre puppet theater. This is the exact kill zone the system pinged. One problem though, the boss is nowhere in sight, until a shadow drops right behind him. It's a total jump scare, and he barely throws up a desperate guard to tank a brutal, bare-handed swipe. Our guy is completely caught slipping without a single decent weapon equipped, 0 high-tier potions, relying purely on instinct to survive. The marionette lunges in, going full aggro with absolutely 0 chill, but his strikes barely scrape its fur. Thrashing around blindly just leaves him wide open. He is stuck dodging for his life, completely unable to launch a counterstrike. This looks incredibly bad. He is backed into an absolute corner, dropped into an A-rank dungeon. This is the system pushing him to his absolute limits. Was he just pushing his luck too far? Meanwhile, the scene shifts. She is not playing around, demanding answers. She needs the exact location of this rookie named Li Gay from the Hunter Association. But tough luck, it is strictly against the rules to leak hunter operations to outsiders. Still, she connects the dots. If Li Ge actually officially awakened as a hunter, that means he is already tailing Lin Feng right this second. She has to catch up to him right now to pull off this rescue mission, or he is going to get wiped out without a clue. Because right now, the kid has 0 idea he walked straight into a death trap. The mastermind, pulling the strings behind his system, it is actually the Demon King himself. Out in the wasteland, inside a busted-up abandoned hotel, we see our so-called main character, just a cracked rookie who never even got the chance to glow up into a legendary hero, about to get snuffed out in absolute silence. As long as the villain keeps his alibi totally bulletproof with 0 obvious motives, he gets to walk away clean. Nobody would ever suspect him. Those system screens? Total puppet strings. He orchestrated every single prompt, baiting the kid into the slaughterhouse. The system chimes in, asking to generate Li Ji's next quest. But the Demon King smirks. Game over. The kid's life subscription gets cancelled today. This is his grand finale. But let us flash back to the villain's throne room, a spot he has not chilled at in a minute. Ever since he wiped the floor with that loser from the other realm, the human world has been a massive snooze fest. He has just been waiting for the real main character to drop. Glancing over the shattered fragments of the system, he remembers how everyone used to trash-talk the guy as totally useless back in the day. The system was stacked with god-tier weapons and mega potions. By absorbing human intellect, it evolved into an absolute masterpiece. He ordered the corrupted system to track the kid down and reel him in, using tiny loot drops as bait. Having completely hacked the interface, he set the board to drag the target right to his doorstep in less than half a month. Lounging on his throne, he wonders about Lin Xiao, since it has been forever. How does flexing from a throne even compare to the pathetic existence of a human? He used to think mankind mirrored his own vibe. Brilliant, calculating, fearless. But reality check? They are literally just bugs waiting to get squashed. Here is the tea. The younger brother, Lin Feng, is stepping up as a hero, just like his sibling, while the villain dips out of the scene. Rewind half a month. Way out in the border slums, Liga snaps awake in his shack. Is he tripping from starvation? Suddenly, a holographic system prompt flashes. He locks in, screaming that he needs crazy power. Cut back to the present. The A-rank dungeon declares him the chosen one. Throwing hands with this mechanical nightmare, he hypes himself up. Giving up is not an option. He has to trust the process. He spams relentless combos at the beast, but the monster completely pierces right through his defenses. Shock sweeps his face. Adrenaline spiking, he catches it, slipping, unleashes a brutal hook, and absolutely pulverizes it. The dust settles. He is dripping blood, but he clutched the win against a literal A-rank nightmare zone. The Demon King watches, totally mind-blown. He hardcore underestimated the kid. If he was not trying to keep a low profile, he would have nuked him with an S-rank death trap. Li Gay, the undisputed main character foretold by the Grand Prophecy and the legendary summoner, Nero. If the Demon King had just ignored him, this kid would have leveled up into the next Lin Xiao in a couple of decades. Too bad his plot armor just expired. He got way too greedy for fast power, so tonight, he takes his final breath right here on this floor. The fight is over. Li Jie is stressed out, wondering why the system is lagging on dropping his epic A-rank healing potion. He staggers to his feet, totally clueless about the creeping danger. Bro is practically daydreaming about writing his will for his next respawn. A fresh, boss-level monster materializes out of nowhere. The killing intent is suffocating. Before he can even question his odds of survival, it blitzes him with a lethal strike. Hard cut back to the main lobby of the Hunter Association. She is pacing, frustrated that she got dragged back here, but she slams down an emergency bounty. Whoever picks up this crazy high-priority gig is getting a massive bag. She is screaming for a teleporter. She needs an instant warp to his exact coordinates, like, right this second. Time is ticking. But over in the kill zone, the Demon King is already busy erasing Liga from existence. Meanwhile, the top brass debates if this rookie who just joined the ranks is truly the mythical child of prophecy. His leveling speed is insanely broken. The ancient texts literally stated he needed a grinding arc of several decades to hit his current stats. Over the last month or two, the entire timeline just derailed, in the most chaotic way possible. With only 4 of the original 7 Grand Elders left breathing, humanity is staring down the barrel of an absolute doomsday. Though honestly, those 3 casualties completely deserved it for bottom feeding in the Elder Hall. The Elder drops a massive bombshell. If Li Ge is 100% the prophesied savior, they cannot let his reckless grind or panic ruin everything. He is hitting the ultimate reset button to give him a second chance. He is triggering a regression. By forcing Li Ge to respawn into the past, this current timeline is about to glitch out with 2 identical versions of him running around. Li Ge is in deep trouble. The 7 Elders' abilities are bouncing off each other, totally rewriting the future in real time. He has zero clue how this crazy timeline is going to play out. But one thing is dead certain, the Demon King is out for his blood tonight. He throws another desperate attack, knowing damn well he is completely outclassed. Running is his only option, but this boss monster is locked onto him like a heat-seeking missile. The villain's speed is absolutely insane. A massive strike barely misses him, but the guy is already breathing down his neck again. He is the sole target, and he needs to bounce. Right now. He scrambles to get out of the danger zone, but the ground is literally crumbling beneath his feet. To make matters worse, that creepy puppet has already dealt him some serious damage. The Demon King does not even need to land a fatal blow. One clean hit to the last remaining platform, and our guy is taking a swan dive straight into boiling magma. Instant ashes. But right at that heart-stopping moment, the so-called main character slices clean through him. The speed is terrifying. If the villain thought this was going to be an easy win, he was dead wrong. The villain starts overthinking the kill. What if this kid has some cheat-level fire immunity trait? If magic flames cannot scorch him, dropping him into a lava pit will not do the job either. Or what if that desperate scrambling earlier was just a massive bait, and the kid secretly has a flight skill tucked up his sleeve? The paranoia is getting totally out of hand. The villain actually wonders, what if his victim's heart is on the right side of his chest? Does he need to aim his fatal strike at the right peck just to be safe? Nah, scratch that. Ripping his head clean off and shredding his body into a million pieces now, that is a guaranteed finish. The Demon King loves delivering a flawless execution. Plot twist. Though the crazy villain actually nailed it, our boy's heart is genuinely sitting slightly off-center compared to a normal human. It is game over. He is going to bite the dust right here in this fiery pit. Jumping into such a top-tier raid was a massive, fatal mistake. Was it because he leveled up way too fast? Or maybe he was dragging his feet? But right before the final blow lands, the whole sequence freezes. Someone barged in and crashed the party. Cut to the outside world. Scouts report back to the captain with some insane intel. A hidden SS rank underground dungeon just popped up on the radar, and it is packing traces of a literal divine artifact fragment. The coordinates he followed were spot on, but the target completely vanished into thin air. Still, surviving that nightmare encounter is a huge win. The guild is gearing up to raid that SS dungeon tomorrow, and honestly, the timing is flawless. Those zones are absolute death traps. It would be way easier to just let the hostile environment do their dirty work and finish the kid off. Meanwhile, back at the Hunter Association, the staff confirms they finally tracked down the right guy. He is getting drafted for a brutal operation down southeast. We are talking about that same SS rank underground labyrinth, and he is practically begging to be deployed on the front line. Why? Because that specific dungeon holds a shattered piece of a god-tier weapon. This is the exact same hellhole where he got slaughtered in his past life. But this time around, he is not just looking to crush the Demon King. He is planning to swipe that mythical fragment right from under their noses. Switching focus back to Li Ge, that midnight raid was an absolute bloodbath, and he barely made it out with his pulse intact. It is a harsh reality check. His current stats are way too garbage. He desperately needs to grind and scale his power level. Suddenly, the holographic system interface chimes in. dropping massive congratulations for surviving the ordeal. The loot drops, a randomized single S-rank potion. The urge to instantly smash that accept button for the follow-up bounty quest is incredibly strong. Hitting that legendary S-rank tier is basically his ultimate dream. But his gut is screaming that this next quest is going to be a total suicide run. He needs to prioritize staying alive. Getting completely wrecked last night gave him serious PTSD, making him think about passing on this one. Sure, the thirst for power is real, but speedrunning to an early grave is not his style. Yet, the system throws a massive curveball. Accepting the challenge guarantees a 100% mana boost upon completion. He is absolutely floored. The system literally doubled down, slapping an insane 100 multiplier on his magical energy reserves. This bait is dangerously good, and the loot pool just keeps expanding. With an armory full of broken items and god-tier buffs lining up, this haul is guaranteed to forge him into an absolute beast of a hunter. Wait, is power leveling actually supposed to be this much of a breeze? No blood, sweat, or tears required in the training room. No crippling fear of facing monsters, and definitely no agonizing years of slow grinding. He drops his hyper-cautious playstyle in a heartbeat and locks in his decision. He clicks accept, main character energy confirmed. He barks at the rookie to gear up immediately, dropping the bomb that they are storming a double S-tier raid zone. That is exactly where the cosmic artifact signature is hiding. But then he pulls a total lone wolf move, announcing he is dropping the party right here and now. He claims he has solo business to handle. The female lead instantly loses her cool. This toxic dynamic is a disaster waiting to happen. They are supposed to be a united front. The rules dictate everyone follows the raid leader. He just tells her to back off and mind her own business, because his personal quest takes priority. The entire squad is visibly fuming. But plot twist, the Demon King commands the system to work its magic. The AI responds, stating it is totally committed to the Prime Directive. Its ultimate goal? To mold a flawless protagonist who is honorable, incredibly sweet, and terrifyingly strong. So, naturally, it completely rejects his toxic attitude toward his party member. A wild side quest pops up on his screen. The objective? Grovel to his teammate right this second and boost her mood. The penalty task? Spin around 3 times and yell at the top of his lungs. Quote, "I am a tiny little puppy. Woof, woof, woof." The prompt aggressively flashes. Accept quest, yes or no. Our edgy hero is standing there, absolutely paralyzed. He is losing his mind over the fact that the system is demanding a single S-rank weapon as a bribe just to keep his main character status. How did everything derail so fast? And what is this chaotic AI even thinking? Just because he flexed a little ego and threw some shade, the system is seriously threatening to strip away his host privileges? Okay, maybe acting like an arrogant jerk was a slight miscalculation, but this forced apology quest is straight up embarrassing. The tension is thick, and the whole crew is glaring daggers at him. You can practically see the group wanting to jump him and deliver a brutal beatdown. But hey, survival of the fittest means knowing when to swallow your pride, right? Without missing a beat, our tough guy drops to his knees, begging for mercy and whining for her forgiveness. The funniest part? She has not even raised a hand to slap him yet. Things flipped in a flash. He's literally groveling like a stray pup, and she just brushes it off, saying it's all good. She totally forgives him. Bro just secured a double S-tier weapon skill, the Thunder Gauntlet. Still, this dude gives off massive weirdo energy. They really shouldn't waste their breath on him. As long as his squad has his back, he's hyped. Cut to the double S-tier underground raid, Twin Mirrors. This hellhole actually hides the legendary artifact shards. These shards aren't just shiny rocks. They are straight up kryptonite to the entire demon clan. If he snatches it first, one-shotting the Demon King is basically guaranteed. For the past 100 years, literally nobody has cleared this dungeon. And it's not because the mob bosses guarding it are insanely busted. It's the twisted mechanics. The second a player steps foot inside, the dungeon spawns an exact, one-to-one clone of them. You only clear the raid by dropping your own doppelganger. Nobody can outplay their current self, hence the 0% clear rate. But catch this, the system has a game-breaking glitch. It only copies your present state. Our guy? He's a literal time traveler from the future. Future him absolutely stomps present him. He already has every single combo and habit memorized down to the millisecond. Plus, he brought the ultimate counter build. The Thunder Gauntlet is strictly melee. So he packed heavy-hitting ranged gear. Reading his past self like an open book, he predicts the dash and dodges flawlessly. He blinks behind him and runs him straight through. A flawless execution. The clone was just a clone, proving he's the absolute main character. He just solo cleared a century-old death trap. The crystal shatters, dropping the epic loot. Even without system hacks. He's dripping in plot armor. He isn't just leveling up into humanity's savior, he now holds the ultimate anti-Demon King weapon. The second he drops the big boss, he's basically becoming a living legend. Just as he reaches for the drop, a shadow creeps up behind him. Checking the timeline, the Demon King is scheduled to crash the party right now. Right on cue, a presence drops in. His spider senses scream danger, so he violently blitzes forward. He grips the divine sword fragment. Zero hesitation. He has to catch this raid boss lacking. He trusts the process. He's the prophecy's goat. A clean hit. The blade sinks deep, shredding right through the enemy's heart with the holy shard. Going for the instant kill. The immortal Demon King just got packed up. Wait, hold up. That wasn't the demon boss? That was his present self? His brain short circuits. What actual nightmare is this? The Li Jie from this timeline literally just got iced by himself. Absolute mind bend. The squad kicks the doors in, freezing when they spot two Li Jies. Everyone knows Twin Mirrors spawns an evil reflection. The pieces click. Liga totally went rogue to solo the boss. But which one is the real deal? The dead guy on the floor is still rocking the exact same wrist gear he equipped this morning. The fit matches 100%. Meanwhile, the Li Jie still breathing is tightly gripping the boss drop. Dungeon lore states only the boss drops that divine shard. Future Li Jie is paralyzed by the math. The squad immediately calls it. The guy holding the shiny loot has to be the dungeon's twisted mimic. They instantly lock in and jump him. Future Li Jie is panicking. The timeline is shattered. He's getting swarmed, and the numbers are just too much. There's no way he can wipe his own squad. Worst part? His overpowered divine shard is basically a Nerf gun against human players. He's hopelessly outgunned. Bro is desperately parrying attacks, spiraling into a mental breakdown. Why did he just murder his past self? Why did his past self spawn right here looking exactly like the final boss? Rewind the clock, 12 hours back. Last night's raid was pure torture. He barely made it out alive. The system flashed a massive clear screen, rewarding his near-death experience. With a random S-tier gacha pull, he pops the item, and boom, it's a top-tier shape-shifting elixir. This liquid gold grants a flawless disguise that literally no one can scan. The ultimate panic button escape tool. The system drops a hidden quest. Slide into the nearby twin mirror zone and execute the boss. The patch notes drop a heavy warning. Step inside, and your darkest reflection spawns. You gotta clap your own clone to farm that divine shard. The system heavily pushes a strat. Down the potion and morph into Baijin Feng. That way, the dungeon glitch. Prints out a water element clone of Baijin Feng instead of him. It's a massive elemental mismatch, giving him a free carry to clear the stage. The catch? Zero comms. Don't leak this to the guild, rush it solo. But diving blind into twin mirrors, he wildly trusted the system's walkthrough. Honestly, Baijin Feng hiding a water build is crazy lore, but that's not the issue. The fatal flaw? The dungeon still cloned his true soul anyway. The system totally botched the code for this raid. Seeing him, his past self blindly charges in, screaming about slaying the Demon King. And present Li Jie is just standing there like, bro, what are you yapping about? He has absolutely no clue what the guy is yapping about, but the moment he hits the ground, he knows it's game over. He actually just got wiped out like this. His brain is completely short-circuiting. He followed the system's prompts to the letter. The interface literally called him the Chosen One. So where exactly did the script flip? He can't wrap his head around it. What the heck just went down? 1 second he's fine. The next, his entire squad is stabbing him in the back. This entire run is totally off script from his past life. Things never played out like this before. Back then, he never morphed into the Demon King. And he definitely didn't solo dive this dungeon. For 3 whole days after the time reset, he walked on eggshells, desperately trying to keep the original timeline intact. He fast-traveled straight to this raid, avoiding every single NPC and side quest along the way. There is zero chance he triggered a butterfly effect. So why is this playthrough totally unrecognizable? The captain finally steps onto the scene, wrapping up the bloodbath. Taking down the dungeon boss was an absolute breeze. But plot twist, that boss was just a decoy who got flatlined by the clone. The guy bleeding out right now? That is the real Demon King, and he needs to be erased. The captain just chuckles. This clone must have completely lost his marbles. 1 second he was flexing about being the true Lich, and the next, he's backpedaling, screaming that he isn't the Lich, and now, he's accusing you of being the Demon King. The dude is totally unhinged. But hey, the loot drop was insane. They just secured another artifact shard. Plus, this imposter was honestly pretty weak, nowhere near a rank B Lich's power level. And if he is just a knockoff, he has zero right breathing in this world anyway. What an absolute clown. He is just spouting pure nonsense. Wait, could he actually know who I really am? The captain sneers. Did you seriously think you were the main character? Don't tell me. You actually thought you were the only time traveler hopping around? The dying guy's eyes go wide. His mind is totally blown. Flashback to the captain buttering him up, claiming he saw hidden potential in the kid, offering him a spot in their elite squad. The pitch was simple. Their next quest was snagging another artifact piece, and delivering it would score them VIP access to the headquarters. Oh, by the way, intel just dropped on the second relic. We need to roll out right now. The kid had just been heading back to his dorm, expecting everyone to gear up and move out. Instead, he spent the whole day grinding for these relics, basically role-playing as a legendary hero. But right then, a heavy aura drops. The actual, bona fide demon king of this current timeline is watching. They immediately toss the kid aside like trash, giving the order to execute him. How did his run end up like this? He was literally supposed to have main character energy. The squad reports back to the captain. They successfully secured the second artifact piece. This raid went smoother than butter. That fireball combo from earlier was totally cracked, and the team is hyped. Once again, he was the one carrying the artifact protection duty. Seriously though, how is anyone supposed to destroy this thing? Anyway, it's time to disband the party and log off, and the whole squad agrees. They need to stash the loot where no human player could ever dream of reaching. And honestly, there is no vault safer than the absolute core of the demon tower. He immediately spots him standing right there, tossing him the responsibility of guarding both fragments. Under no circumstances can those leave the tower. Want to know how to dodge that massive, gaping chest wound waiting for you in the future? Well, listen up. In exactly 2 months, winter is going to hit hard. The snow will start dropping, and so will your health bar. You are going to take critical damage, leaving you hanging by a thread. All thanks to a relic-infused weapon wielded by some top-tier hero named Ouyang Wufang. Honestly, I barely tanked the hit. I just barely found a split-second window to retreat, track down that old geezer, and literally slap him into rewinding time for me. So wait, that means he gets a free pass to survive for the next 2 months. But what about this future version of him rocking that nasty wound? Looking at him, the guy is definitely on his last breath. Still, this is the very first time he has ever had a face-to-face chat with his own future self. And looking at it from the outside, he just realized his own personality is incredibly toxic. Like, seriously obnoxious. He hasn't set foot in the Demon Tower for 3 whole months. He totally forgot about the insane buffs you get just for being the Demon King. The Demon King literally comes equipped with a passive HP lock ability while inside the tower. And guess what? He is also the Demon King. As long as he stays camped inside the Demon Tower, his health won't drop to 0. But that basically turns him into a ghost chained to the spawn point. He is literally a damsel locked in a castle. Pathetic. Honestly, his future self really needs to chill with the trash talk. If it wasn't for that shared HP lock buff keeping them alive, he would absolutely body his future self right here and now. But he has to play it smart. The powers of the 7 human elders can actually clash and cross-contaminate. One tiny slip-up, and you trigger a massive butterfly effect. You have got Lin, who has been respawning endlessly, the Grand Prophet casually reading the future, the Supreme Summoner, pulling random souls from alternate dimensions, and that boomer who has been spamming the time rewind button for everyone. Your timeline is so unbelievably glitched right now that even he can't predict the meta anymore. Okay, enough of the TED Talk. Ouyang Wufeng won't be spawning in until winter drops, which gives him a solid 2 months. From here on out, he can actually coast a bit. He has spent the last 3 months grinding quests in the human realm, hunting down those shards, without a single second to just vibe and enjoy the game. This is the ultimate window to kick back and chill. Honestly, these next few months are going to be a total breeze. She calls it an intel gathering mission to scout the ops. But let's be real, she just doesn't want to sound basic. Homegirl is totally just using this as a free pass to touch grass and go wild. After being locked up in that demonic tower for literally thousands of years, she finally bagged a hall pass, and I bet my channel she's never going back. Our tower girl is treating the human realm like an all-inclusive resort. Meanwhile, the news is hyping up the human champion, Kim Fine, and his squad for securing the second artifact fragment, the ultimate seal for the Demon Tower. Victory is literally around the corner, and humanity's future is looking insanely bright and hopeful. The hype is real, but plot twist. This is the human city from 20 years ago. The streets are packed, the air is crisp, and the sky is ridiculously blue above the skyscrapers. Even light bulbs fascinate her. She really needs to milk this temporal vacation. The upper realm deities are treating her life like a live stream, judging her every move while she hunts for that artifact. She is absolutely going to crush this divine quest, especially with an entire pantheon of overpowered gods backing her up. But she's not sweating it. After finally dropping into this peaceful timeline, she sets her priorities straight. Her first move? Broadcasting an ultimate chill vlog of human city life to the higher dimensional VIPs chilling in her chat. First stop, a local cafe. And boom, right there is our main boy. He definitely didn't show up for nothing. This joint is notorious for serving straight garbage water. He takes one sip, gags, and violently spits out the bitter mess. Cut to the girl, she pulls the exact same disgusted face. He seriously cannot fathom why people keep hyping this trash up. Next up, they hit the movie theater, And these two are basically living mirrored lives right now, totally unbothered. They hit up the local fairs, just soaking in the vibes. Everything feels magical to her, while randoms keep asking them for their aesthetic secrets. It's giving major parallel universe energy between these two. Let's fast forward to the downtown zoo, where they're checking out the animal exhibits. The new girl immediately wants to break the cages and set them free. Catching the vibe, our protagonist decides to match her chaotic energy. Both of them are absolutely disgusted that people force these creatures to perform cheap tricks. They start throwing down in the stands, going full Karen on the staff until security literally tosses them out of the circus tent. What a weird zoo trip. But hold up, she stares at him and realizes she just stumbled onto the real deal. Talk about insanely good RNG, she wasn't even looking, but she found him right when she least expected it. She actually traveled here just to recruit him. She can't solo this mission, but she still has zero clue where the next fragment spawned. Suddenly, his system pings. It detects a rogue interface pulsing from her, only he can see it. He rarely encounters anything like this, and the UI is completely glitchy and undefined. However, it's clearly leagues above his own tech, packed with insane features. The chat goes wild. The gods start dumping massive super chats because they absolutely simp for the Demon King. Wait, she has to party up with the Demon King to snatch that artifact? Bet. She knows the drop location, so they agree to squad up. He officially welcomes her to the guild. She asks if he wants her backstory, but he hits her with a cold don't care. He's just hyped to have a solid teammate to grind for the artifact. She drops her tag, Liu, 13. Forget the last name, it's just a serial number. Lore time. She spawned during the Great War era. Just 2 months after she dropped, the Demon King took critical damage and was left on 1 HP, completely shattering the 1,000-year peace treaty among the demon race. War instantly broke out. Demons flooded out of the tower, turning the entire planet into a massive PvP deathmatch for 5 brutal years. To the kids back then, buzzwords like apocalypse, war, casualty, and sacrifice were just background static. At first, it was your standard humans versus demons setup, just like everyone expected. But humans quickly realized that the demons were massive bullet sponges, whereas backstabbing other humans let them instantly loot cash, gear, and top-tier weapons. Yeah, plot twist. Humanity was way more toxic and terrifying than the monsters. Legend actually says the demon race spawned entirely from human toxicity and negative vibes, but shockingly, this apocalyptic free-for-all only lasted 5 years before a massive server-wiping event dropped, and it was absolutely colossal. That year, when she was just 3, the gods physically descended onto the planet. Watching the humans and demons tear each other apart gave these higher-dimensional entities a brilliant, twisted idea. These cosmic spectators from across the galaxy grabbed their popcorn, turning the entire planet into a giant Twitch stream, forcing everyone to survive back-to-back death games. A little ghost pops up, hyping our guy up. He just slaughtered the remaining 99 players in the lobby, securing that sweet victory royale. The massive wave of super chats flooding the stream. He is sitting on a massive stash of 5,032 cosmic coins, but instead of hoarding them, he is dumping every single one into leveling up his gear and boosting his base stats. The rules of this sick death game flip constantly. Every brutal clash puts lives on the line, whether it is humans slaughtering each other, or humanity facing off against demonic horrors, or even humans going toe-to-toe with savage beasts. Bottom line, to survive this hellscape, the people of Earth had to become literal playthings for the divine. Over the last few years, Earth's native population just completely tanked. Humanity got wiped out until barely 1,000th of us remained. Even before the Demon King finally bit the dust, nature itself was wiped clean off the map. We are talking absolute extinction. 99% of our water and soil turned into toxic sludge. And that is when the gods stepped in, tossing the remnants of humanity into captivity. They literally treated us like zoo animals. The deities appointed strict admins to breed us, since the poisoned wasteland outside was a guaranteed death sentence. These breeding facilities became our only safe zones, tossing the leftovers of mankind basic scraps of food and clean water to keep us breathing. Back when he was just 10 years old, he was not even given a real name. He was just a barcode in the breeding camp. District 8, Park 12, Cell 48, Subject 13. The kids born right after the Demon King's downfall originally got hyped up as the war generation, but now, everyone just calls them the slave generation. You see, those arrogant gods were not shielding humanity out of the goodness of their hearts. There was a massive catch. The price of survival meant acting as the ultimate entertainment for these twisted deities, even if the admins strictly managed the daily body count. After all, the cosmos already viewed humanity as a dangerously chaotic species. It was basically ancient Rome on steroids. Slaves were tossed into blood-soaked arenas to brawl with literal monsters just to get a sick chuckle out of the divine elites. So, from the moment they could walk, This generation of kids learned only one core rule: get ripped, slaughter the competition, and beg for the gods' twisted blessing. Doing that scored him major perks like actual decent food, and the deities totally ate up his performance. Our guy quickly morphed into an absolute superstar in the human death matches, but when he finally hit 18, the system dropped an insanely rare quest on him. He tracked down the Time Elder, one of the legendary 7 leaders from the original Hunter Association headquarters. The gods were officially ordering him to time jump 20 years into the past, dragging the admins and the entire livestream setup with him. His objective? Secure a shattered piece of a divine relic that got left behind on Earth 1,000 years ago. The gods planned to weaponize it, to rip open a cosmic gateway, allowing the divine fleet to invade Earth 20 whole years early. They essentially wanted to rewrite history, touching down on the planet 2 decades ahead of schedule, right before the all-out apocalyptic war between humanity and the demons even kicked off. Because back then, Earth was actually thriving, swarming with billions of people. The deities were hungry for fresh meat. They wanted to save humanity. Instead of watching 99.99% of the population from 20 years ago just get vaporized in the upcoming doomsday. In their twisted logic, trapping everyone as gladiator slaves for their sick entertainment and forcing them to fight as divine pawns was the ultimate mercy. When the Time Elder pulled up to meet him, the old man dropped a heavy question. He demanded to know why our guy was busting his back, just to fetch more human cattle for these cosmic tyrants. Why not just ghost the live streamers and the admins, hijack the timeline, and lead Earth during its absolute prime 20 years ago? They could easily build a resistance against the invading gods, just like humanity had been pushing back the demon hordes all these years. Our boy just scoffed, finding the old-timers' idealism totally hilarious. That sounded exactly like the naive pipe dream of a boomer from a peaceful era. Honestly, how on earth is a lion born and bred inside a cage ever going to have the guts to bite the hand that feeds it? Zoo animals do not stage prison breaks. Still, he was finally heading back to reality check his future squad of enslaved gladiators from 2 decades down the line. Society as we know it has been completely pulverized. Because of that, there are 2 specific concepts completely wiped from his generation's dictionary: home and hope. They literally have 0 roots and absolutely no clue where they are heading. Eventually, he touches down at the mythical main base of the Hunter Association. In this era, it is straight up one of the most overpowered human factions on the planet. That marks his second major objective, completely crossed off the system's massive to-do list. Right now, he is actively hacking into Liu's interface, hitting a solid 10% on the progress bar. If his own heads-up display is accurate, Liu is 100% rocking a similar cheat ability, totally invisible to everyone else. But just watching the guy awkwardly swat at empty space makes it painfully obvious that something wild is going on, and he completely called it. It looks like hardcore main character syndrome just possessed Viking Faye, leaving our boy staring at him, mumbling to the air like an absolute weirdo. Even so, Faye drags him into a dimly lit room to formally introduce the rest of the crew, where even the Demon King drops some rare respect on humanity's name. They immediately clock him as Viking Faye's new recruit, and honestly, the hype is real. Yo, what is good, everyone? The atmosphere in this place hits totally different. It is crazy cozy. Sure, the rest of the crew thinks the vibe is pretty sus, but to him, it is giving major home sweet home energy. I mean, looking back at his seriously messed up past life, where comfort literally did not exist, this is a massive upgrade. Plus, he is already noticing that the new kid actually passes the vibe check. You seriously want to know about his past life? Let us just say, having a solid roof, infinite snacks, fresh fits, and 0 weather trauma is a complete game changer for him. The big guy upstairs literally blessed them with free rent and solid grub. They should be kissing the ground instead of scraping by like straight-up stray dogs. Wait, so he actually scored his own crib too? The whole thing feels wildly unreal. But honestly, that is a massive W. He called it, everyone is just chilling in their own zone. It is super bizarre, but the craziest part is that he actually secured a loyal squad. Flashback to his old death games where the entire meta was literally slaughtering your own teammates. Friendship was definitely never on his bingo card, but since Captain Viking Phoenix personally vouched for him, the crew is blindly backing him up. As long as they share the same brain cell and faith, they are completely locked in. These guys are the literal last hope for humanity. Their entire personality revolves around praising the heavens and staying eternally grateful to the divine. They would drop absolutely everything for their faith. Meanwhile, the rookie is playing a completely different game. His actual master plan? Hoarding every single divine fragment in existence. He wants to hit God mode and literally wipe humanity off the map. Talk about a brutal plot twist. Right now, the squad stacks their hands in, ready to snatch up that God-tier artifact. Next stop, the double S rank dungeon. We are talking about the Abyssal Labyrinth, an insanely massive, mind-bending death trap. It is drowning in pitch-black shadows and stretches out for absolute eternity. The ultimate prize? The third divine fragment, chilling deep inside a heavily rigged, rule-based dungeon. If you do not know what rule-based means, pay attention. Just like their epic raid for the second double S-tier god fragment, the Twin Mirrors Zone enforces an insanely overpowered, unique law that perfectly controls the entire space. Cause and effect, basic physics, toss them entirely out the window. The dungeon's rule is the only absolute truth. Speaking of crazy mechanics, the very top of the Demon Tower operates on the exact same logic. The Demon King himself literally abuses a totally broken HP lock rule, stacked with infinite magical energy. And right now, they are standing on the exact coordinates hiding the third divine fragment. At least, that is what the lore books claim. But hold up, why is the lobby absolutely packed? The Abyssal Labyrinth literally features hundreds of different gates, yet dozens of top-tier squads just pulled up out of nowhere. Turns out, some random breaking news leaked exactly where the god fragment was dropping a few days ago. The second that leak dropped, every sweaty player rushed over. Look at that squad over there. They are straight out of the Hunter Association's elite headquarters. Honestly, right behind Jin, those absolute tanks are heavy favorites to become the next legendary saviors of the human race. Fanboys are literally begging for a selfie, but our guy is just standing there utterly stunned. The secret intel got leaked, meaning his only flex of being the ultimate wiki guide is ruined. Now, he feels completely useless. Still, he refuses to let it wreck his mental state. He swore he would stick by the main character's side, ride or die. Squad goals forever, right? They have to clutch the ultimate endgame. The kid is genuinely wholesome and is ready to sweat blood for the team. Meanwhile, our savage protagonist is just mentally cackling. He totally brainwashed this innocent fool. Scamming little kids is practically too easy for him. All the rival guilds lock in their custom spawn points. Our crew, they literally just pick a random portal and dive straight into the darkness. The legendary loot is supposedly waiting at the very end of the maze. But honestly, the rookie is completely mind-blown by their zero-strategy approach. Like, what if this path leads straight into a brutal dead-end death trap? Whatever. For some completely bizarre reason, just trailing behind the secretly evil Demon King gives him massive comfort. It perfectly explains why the whole party simps for his leadership. Suddenly, they hit a massive crossroads. Left, right, center, hold up. The air suddenly shifts. A hidden dungeon mechanic just triggered. They step directly into a micro-rule-based zone. The system notification pops up for this four-way split, and it is brutally toxic. Betray and slaughter your entire squad. Only the last man standing gets to walk out alive. If they win, the puzzle removes one fake route from the intersection. But the rookie is absolutely losing his mind right now. He has to murder his friends again? This is a massive red flag. The deadly rules officially lock in, and a glowing magical barrier instantly blocks their only exit. The force field did not cover the whole room, but make no mistake, if they do not clear this sick survival game, they are soft-locked in this pixelated hell forever. A literal battle royale among friends. But secretly, the main character is smirking. The rookie's leaked intel about the dungeon's mechanics was 100% spot on. Forced betrayal? Honestly, our boy finds that trope painfully basic. Still, the rookie's spider senses are tingling. Something feels totally off. What in the world is Tian Tian up to in the corner? Is he stealthily prepping a lethal backstab? Nope. The dude is literally just sleepy, dropping a massive yawn. The poor rookie is hyperventilating, completely baffled at how the squad is so wildly unbothered by a deathmatch. His paranoia is totally peaking. He watches a teammate slowly slide a hand into their pocket. The rookie instantly tenses up, convinced a deadly weapon is about to get drawn. Plot twist. It is literally just a carton of milk. The guy casually asks the ice mage to freeze it so they can snack on some epic Demon King branded popsicles. The rookie is actively malfunctioning. How is he the only one sweating over their imminent doom? But before he can panic more, someone shoves an ice pop into his hands. The dude handing it over is named 13, basically telling the rookie to chill out and enjoy a freezing snack. Newsflash, he is not sweating because it is hot out. He is sweating pure terror. Yet, looking around, he thinks, wow, we really are the most wholesome squad ever. He desperately wants to protect these guys and refuse the slaughter. But little does he know, the undercover Demon King and his party is already 10 steps ahead of the game. Are they seriously treating this death trap like a walk in the park? Hold up. We can't just dive in headfirst without a solid backup plan. He genuinely cares about his squad and refuses to watch them get slaughtered in this golden era. But our boy, the MC, he just smirks, claiming that playing it safe is totally overrated. Boom! He launches a devastating strike straight at the cursed tombstone, absolutely obliterating its defenses with raw power. The whole structure glows blindingly bright before crumbling to dust. The squad watches, utterly shell-shocked. But honestly, Why play by a rigged system when you can just shatter it? Smashing the rules is the new meta. Now, staring down a massive fork in the road, the million-dollar question hits his path. Which path actually leads to survival? Wait a damn minute. He didn't just break the rule, he completely wiped out the magical barrier too. Jaws literally hit the floor. For his entire existence, he's been nothing but a puppet for the gods, a tragic pawn forced to dance in their twisted survival games. They were literally programmed to slaughter each other, shedding blood endlessly just to give those arrogant deities a cheap thrill. Like trained circus animals jumping through flaming hoops. It never even crossed his mind to just ditch the script. If the dungeon logic is trash, you flip the freaking board and write your own reality. Fired up, the crew unleashes a brutal barrage, tearing down every single obstacle in their path. Every invisible wall, every twisted law of the dungeon, annihilated by the Demon King's sheer dominance. It's a mind-bending flex nobody saw coming. Back in the day, drowning in pure despair, the concept of hope was a complete joke to him. Fighting back wasn't even an option. But right now, the Demon King is radiating absolute main character energy, literally carrying them toward salvation. Following Wei Qingfeng to the finish line is their only viable play. They split up to secure the remaining 99 gates, aggressively hyping up the other hunters to smash those cursed tombstones and push forward. Suddenly, a flashback hits him hard. He remembers the chilling question that mysterious elder asked him right before he regressed back in time. Why didn't humanity ever unite to rebel against their divine oppressors? Why accept the invisible chains? His past self gave a brutally honest answer. Because hope simply did not exist. But right here, right now, in this second life, hope isn't just real. It's standing right in front of him. He is absolutely desperate to grab that single spark of defiance and ignite a massive revolution to rewrite humanity's dark future. Honestly, it completely explains why the Demon King's elite squad didn't even sweat the dungeon's death traps. They blindly trusted his swagger because the guy is an absolute powerhouse dripping with tactical genius. Even stripped of the Demon Tower's insane buffs, he naturally radiates this infectious aura that makes everyone believe they can actually win. Plot twist. They breach the final chamber, only to find the divine artifact fragment totally gone. His brain short-circuits. No freaking way. For the very first time, the Demon King actually took a massive L. Some phantom player totally outplayed them, speedrunning the deadly trial, and effortlessly hijacking the labyrinth's mechanics to swipe the god-tier loot. The speed of this heist? Absolutely terrifying. Whoever pulled this off bypassed the system in literally seconds. Refusing to swallow the defeat, our squad locks onto a faint trail of footprints, hunting down this mysterious ghost. The labyrinth's twisted logic had already proven totally ruthless, but as they cautiously backtrack, they bump right into their lost squadmate near the spawn point. But things feel incredibly off. The atmosphere is thick with heavy dread. The entire oppressive aura of the maze just poofs out of existence. The system totally collapsed the second that artifact was snatched. Thank God they hauled ass. Turns out, the massive horde of hunters scattered across the other 99 gates completely froze up the moment the twisted system ordered a vicious battle royale. No blood was shed in those sectors, but what about the Vanguard team in Zone 1? That's where the real nightmare went down. By the time backup rushed the initial challenge room, the horror show was already over. A total bloodbath. Every single ally was wiped out. It's utterly sickening that someone slaughtered their own crew just to secure the loot. This unknown rogue is playing a wildly savage, zero-emotions game. Every instinct in our guy's body is screaming that a massive threat is looming. Hold up. A terrifying theory drops. Could this absolute psycho be the exact same guy fated to assassinate the Demon King in 2 months? The world is already on fire, with insanely dark politics bubbling under the surface. The ultimate turf war between the demonic legions and humanity has reached a deadly boiling point, and you already know the elite noble clans are using this chaos to aggressively hoard every single drop of resources they can get their filthy hands on. Flashback 1,000 years. The absolute apex predators of the world all pledged unwavering loyalty to the legendary Eastern clan. Fast forward to today, and that once godly Eastern dynasty has completely fallen off. Meanwhile, the Western clan has been secretly grinding and scaling up their power massively. Thank God, the Ouyang bloodline flexed a legendary ancestor who collected 10 divine fragments back in the day and single-handedly locked down the Demon Tower. That epic feat cemented their family's god-tier status, giving them ultimate clout that still protects them today. But keep your eyes on the Lin and Li syndicates. Being rare hybrids of Eastern and Western bloodlines, these two powerhouse factions have been skyrocketing up the tier list recently. But karma hit hard. After the tragic back-to-back deaths of their heavy hitters, Lin Xiao and his little brother, Lin Feng, the entire Lin Empire instantly crumbled. Naturally, that highly anticipated strategic marriage between the Lis and the Lins was completely trashed. Sensing weakness, The remaining 6 powerhouse families are practically frothing at the mouth, ready to tear each other apart for the #1 throne. To win this brutal shadow war, they desperately need to draft a massive army of top-tier hunters. They were bred for this. When the world goes to hell, legends step up. Over 1,000 years ago, their bloodline birthed a literal icon, setting the stage for all their insane wealth today. But right now, the demon race is currently throwing down with the Hunter Association. It is a total bloodbath. Back at the estate, the patriarch gets some chilling news. A massive threat just breached their perimeter. This dude is built different. He has already wiped the floor with dozens of elite guards, and the boss has zero clue who he is or why he is crashing their spot. Get this, the absolute madman pulled up on horseback. A millennium has passed, and the Ouyang bloodline has seriously fallen off, leaving the current generation looking incredibly soft. But then, they notice his weapon. That glowing blade strapped to his back? It is a straight-up shard of a divine artifact. A hunter? The stranger scoffs. So that is what they call cultivators these days. Nah, he is no hunter. His name is Ouyang Wufeng. The patriarch is completely shook. There is no way. This is the mythical hero who hunted down all 10 divine shards. Over 1,000 years ago, the lore says Ouyang Wufeng just vanished into thin air after locking down the demon spire. They demand proof, but honestly, he does not owe them a single explanation. The only thing these guys need to wrap their heads around is this. The Ouyang clan desperately needs a heavy hitter, and he is exactly that guy. Enter Ouyang Wufeng, a walking cheat code from a millennium ago. If history books had main characters, he was the absolute star of his timeline. Back in his day, the world was a pure meat grinder of endless war, with famine and bodies dropping left and right. All that collective trauma and terror from humanity acted like pure fuel for the demon race, turning the planet into a living nightmare. But like they say, the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. As the eldest heir of the Ouyang bloodline, he grinded his cultivation skills up at the peak of Changshan Mountain. Even as a kid, he was leading raid parties of elite cultivators straight into the demon spire. But eventually, he realized the demon king camping at the top floor was stupidly overpowered, a literal god. So, he switched up his strategy to hunt down those scattered divine shards, just to trap the monster inside. They ended up sacrificing, look at this body count. But honestly, it's completely unavoidable if you want to save humanity in the other realm. The grind to the top is soaked in blood. By the time he snapped back to reality, his entire squad was wiped off the map, leaving him dead solo. Turns out, playing the savior is a cold-blooded gig. Flashback to him rushing the magic tower, clutching all 10 divine artifact shards. Suddenly, the sky straight up shattered with a deafening roar, glitching him 1,000 years into the future. The heavens literally dragged him to this modern era for one specific reason. Finish the job. He's still on that hero grind. His mission? Hunt down the 10 modern-day shards and lock up the demon tower. For good. He's running a 2-step playbook right now. Step 1. Snatch the 4th divine relic. Step 2. Steal back the first 2 pieces. Only problem? The Hunter Association squad already swooped in and bagged them. Right now, they're sitting in the pockets of Captain Wei Jingfeng. Rumor has it the guy is a total Boy Scout, so the loot should be secure. But let's be real. Human nature is messy, and pure innocence is a myth. Every single person has that one dark craving, that one fatal flaw. And where there's a flaw, corruption creeps in. But not for our guy. Those divine shards are only untouchable when he's the one holding them. Someone calls him out, asking if he's dead serious about hijacking the relics. But hey, the hero's path is brutal. Can't handle the heat? Get out of the kitchen. Boom, he vanishes into thin air. Not even a trace of what kind of skill he just popped. Now, let's pan over to our main character. He already knows this dude is absolute bad news. Plot twist. Some random just scored the 3rd piece of the puzzle. They're pulling up to the association, ready to check the goods. But he's digging for an ID when suddenly an insane, alien aura drops on them. Nobody knows what's hitting them. The attack pattern? Absolute cinema. He's completely paralyzed. This has to be that ancient, 1,000-year-old cultivation magic, spamming infinite talismans and cursed gear. The attacker instantly grabs her in a chokehold, refusing to let go, even with the defensive seals broken. Turns out, his gut feeling was spot on. This absolute menace is Ouyang Wufeng, the legendary ancient hero, who time-jumped from a millennium ago. According to the history books, he's destined to flatline the Demon King in exactly 2 months. He issues a raw ultimatum: hand over the relic shard, or he snaps her neck. The sheer vibe off this guy is terrifyingly off. This whole standoff feels like a bizarre deja vu of that very first encounter with Li Tiantian and the Demon King. So what's the big boss gonna choose this time? Meanwhile, the gods are just up there, streaming the whole thing like a movie. Typical. His trauma is literally premium entertainment for the divines. He finally clocks that this is the dude who bagged the third shard and slaughtered his own crew without a second thought. He yells at the captain to stop sweating over him. They bled for that artifact. They can't just fold and hand it over. Wait, how is he even dropping a monologue while getting choked out? The tension is skyrocketing, but plot twist, he doesn't even have those two pieces on him. They're stashed away. Alright, bet. He triggers a massive escape art. His philosophy? Real apex predators don't do feelings. Guess they share the same cold blood, because he dips out with the hostage. The squad is totally shook that they just left her behind to die. Someone needs to speak up. They claim they were heading to the clan for the relics, and they desperately need a backup plan. But he just claps back. Top tiers don't have time for emotional baggage. We're the same, you and I. Bro, what is he even yapping about? They are on completely different wavelengths. He is lost on why they think he actually wanted to save Li Tiantian. First things first, he needs to let him slip away, all while the gods are laughing their heads off. He has to push the relic hunt out of his mind for a sec. Priority number 1 is figuring out how to completely block an all-out brawl between the Demon King and Ouyang Wufeng. It's a guaranteed death sentence. If he takes critical damage this early in the game, the entire human race gets shoved straight into apocalyptic warfare. After all, the Demon King himself is totally blind to his own grim fate, but he called it. This Ouyang Wufeng is the exact executioner destined to wreck him in 60 days. Plus, there's a massive glitch. This new sidekick, Liu 13, he never existed in the original timeline run. Total stranger. The butterfly effect is happening right now. The timeline is fracturing. And get this, it looks like Liu 13 is packing serious main character energy. He rushed back to the magic tower, hunting shards just to rescue Li Tiantian. Honestly, with his edgy, rebellious vibe, he hates being read like a book by a guy like Ouyang. Yet, he still tosses over the 2 shards. But wait, what's his actual endgame here? Talk about an identity crisis. Playing the hero? Nah. He's plotting to assassinate Li Tiantian because she is literally the single person alive who knows his real identity. He should have flatlined her ages ago. Now that Ouyang Wufeng has her in a chokehold, it's a massive wake-up call. Li Tiantian is a walking red flag for his plans. The smartest move right now? Mute her permanently. Yep, this whole hostage swap is just a fake-out for the cameras. He's gonna use the Ouyang family's chaos to take her out for good. The mastermind plan? Pin the whole mess on the Ouyang clan. Makes perfect sense since Lin Tiantian is a top-tier veteran in the Hunter Association. That move is guaranteed to spark some massive beef between the guild and the Ouyang family. Sparking an all-out civil war among humanity? That is totally wiping out 2 birds with 1 stone. Classic Demon King behavior right there. Instead of playing along with Ouyang Wufeng's little choices, our guy completely flips the script and unlocks a hidden third route. The mission is strictly stealth. Frame the guy and get out. Whatever goes down, throwing hands with Ouyang is completely off the table. That dude's power scaling is absolutely off the charts, so keeping tabs on his sword's artifact shard is top priority. He literally begs his partner to stay alive just a bit longer. Once he hits full recovery, the 2 of them together will be an unstoppable duo. Fast forward to the very next day. Bai Jinfei rolls up to the scene, demanding his people back along with the legendary relic. Seeing the absolute dungeon they tossed her in makes his blood boil. Meanwhile, she's looking at the captain with a smug smirk, bragging that she always knew her rescue squad would arrive. Our Demon King is just standing there, utterly flabbergasted by the audacity. He makes it crystal clear chatty hostages are his biggest pet peeve. Instantly, they deliver another brutal strike. Yet, for an entire 24 hours of non-stop interrogation, her lips remain totally sealed. She refused to leak even a single drop of intel. Honestly, the interrogators were starting to wonder if her vocal cords were broken. Hunter Association veterans are just built different. Even this young recruit proved she has an insanely high pain tolerance. Turns out, she never ratted him out. Going through absolute hell at the hands of the Ouyang clan, she stayed wildly loyal to her boss. The hostage exchange actually goes down, and the shards are handed over. The enemy mocks him, thinking he's soft for trading a god-tier item just to save a girl. He doesn't care about the trash talk. He just wants her safe. Once unchained, she runs straight into his arms in dead silence. He had her back before, and she remembers that. Suddenly, a crazy migraine hits him out of nowhere. With 3 pieces of the puzzle securely in his inventory, the hunt for the 4th piece officially begins. Out of nowhere, the Demon King steps up and absolutely caves the guy's face in with 1 brutal punch. The entire room goes dead silent in pure shock. The bystanders are losing their minds, seeing him assault the legendary clan ancestor. But he is literally seething with dark energy, ready to wipe this entire bloodline off the map right here and now.